Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SpawnCast episode 148. It's been a week. We actually had some stuff that happened this week because, well, January for gaming was not great. So at least some things are starting to pick up. But we do still have a few things to go over in terms of the Switch Switch Pro, not happening this year. PlatinumGames rumored to pursue a Kickstarter for Wonderful 101. Nintendo's long financial report that had some sales numbers for a bunch of games. Pokemon Home and its pricing. And then I wanted to go over Stadia again because it's getting kind of embarrassing, but it's also a little funny at the same time. So we'll talk about Stadia as well. Let's go around here. Our guest tonight, we have Shadow Fox, who I think will be able to give us some pretty good technical insight a bit on that Switch Pro. I think, right? You commented before that you'd like to be on for the Switch Pro. And to be honest, this might be the last time we talk about the Switch Pro for quite a while. So I thought it'd be good to hear from you on that one. How you doing tonight?
We don't step in the game. I'm here. We're going to talk about Switch Pro. Shout out to, I guess, I see two people in the chat calling me Rick Ross. So I appreciate that.
Wingstop is great.
And then we have Sean. I see on your left you have the GameCube, so good stuff there.
Well, no, it's not. It's not really there.
That's a green screen.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Yeah, and then Bob to our right, your left. How's it going tonight, Sean?
Spirit.
Yeah,
better than last week, man. I was
so
out for the count.
We got to hear about this because it became Evan went to town on some of that photoshopping, right?
Oh, they were good. They were good,
weren't they? Also, you provided Nate. Nate should be thanking you, by the way, with an amazing thumbnail that pulled him quite a bit of views.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah.
Did you see the thumbnail?
I did.
Okay. I mean, I feel like it had something to do with those views. Come on, right? I mean,
the titling was also pretty good.
Yeah, I got taken out by raisins, man. I didn't know like that you could only eat like a certain amount of raisins. They don't say nothing on the bag or anything like that.
How many did you eat?
I ate way too much. I ate probably like 3 or 4 cups at least.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
They're tasty.
Is there really a limit on your raisin consumption?
Yes, it'll destroy your stomach. Yeah, like people were like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that?" It's like, no, it's not on the bag. How am I supposed to know? It's like
I don't think that's a common fact. Like I don't think anyone grew up like, oh, like because everyone's like, oh, raisins are good for you. I don't think everyone ever told you, but don't eat too many.
But they do come in the little boxes when you were younger, right? They didn't give you like a big box of them.
See, I bought a big ass bag from Amazon. So like I was just taking handfuls and just eating them. I had the same thing happen to me with sugar-free candy once back when I was doing my pharmacy tech stuff. Whenever candy would go out of date, it was fair game, like because it was a small independent pharmacy, so they had already bought it. It was just like, yeah, just take it. And they had a bunch of sugar-free candy that went out of date, and I was like, hell yeah! So I just started eating like a couple bags of them, and they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, what's the problem? It's candy, and they're like, you're not going to be good. And like probably an hour later, I was dying. Like it was the worst thing ever. And they were like, how did you not know that? It's like, it's not on the fucking bag.
Sugar-free candy will give you the gurgles.
Do they deliver the bubbly stuff to you, Sean?
No,
bubbly water. They won't deliver it to me.
I think you could get it. You can't get it on Prime Pantry.
No, it says they don't deliver to my area.
Really?
So I have to drive like a mile to Walmart. It's terrible.
I get my Zevias from Amazon because they're cheaper. I just got 48 of them in today.
Yeah, I got some bags. Apparently, I can't find my favorite flavor anymore.
Hey, put that down.
Oh, sorry. Not a sponsor, guys. Don't drink energy drinks. They're bad for you.
And then MVG, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Just got home from dinner. The town is rocking about the Super Bowl tomorrow, so I'm psyched about the game tomorrow, man.
Yep, that is going to be fun. What? Your Chiefs. Now, if the Chiefs win, you know what? I've watched Andy Reid for a long time out here, and I go, okay, you know what? He got his ring. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think it's funnier if the 49ers win. So yes.
Well, OJ said it was threatening to kick me off the podcast.
I was threatening to suggest it.
All right.
Did you get that NFC Champion shirt in yet, OJ?
No.
Oh, it's good. It just came in yesterday. It looks good.
Mine
looks
didn't
good.
come in.
OJ, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, raisins come in small boxes. RGT. I wanted to make sure that there's a reason for that.
That's the Sun-Maid one, though. I don't want no. I don't know. That Sun-Maid lady
Sun-Maid
looks
out here
weird.
trying to assassinate
And I
kids.
know you were talking. I know you were talking to me. You know, you were talking to me personally. I guess you might have had issues with girls that look like the lady on the box too. Maybe that was also an issue into what was going on as well. Any insight that you want to share on that?
No, man, why? I would rather have my raisins in a bag than a box. Like, what else?
The sun made?
No. What else comes? What else comes in a box? That's food.
Everything.
That's literally in a box. No plastic around it or anything. Because those raisins are literally just in the box. Like they're crusted onto the side of the box when you get to the bottom of them. I remember eating that as a little kid. No other food does that.
I'm with you against the raisin attack force. I'm with you. I got my headband ready. Let's do it.
Nate, what's going on, man? How you doing? You feeling all right? You doing all right up there, man?
What?
Nate's trying. He's struggling.
What?
So what? You got a problem, punk?
Nate's not feeling the greatest, but he's here anyway to
That's right. I put myself through hell for you people. Show some gratitude and hit the like button at least.
how's it going, Nate? How's the week been for you? Outside of today where you're not feeling great.
The week was a week.
Wow, very descriptive.
Wow, very good. All right, awesome.
Shut up, Fringe. I still have enough strength to do that.
Be quiet, Nathaniel.
Jordan, what's up?
Not much, I did stuff this week as well. It was in fact a week.
All right.
I'm going to kick you. I'm going to give you the coronavirus at PAX.
Looking forward to it.
And then Evan, what's up?
Busy
At your
as
desk
always.
earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Cool. And let's go over what we've played this week. I didn't get to play as much. Like I said, I played like 4 or 5 games, with half of them being on the GameCube and the other one being on the Nintendo 64. That I don't know if I'm allowed to divulge or not, because I was doing some of that for MVG, But I did leave it hooked up, and I played some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, so that was fine. But I did play. I played DBZ Kakarot. I'm almost done that game. To be honest, it's getting boring at this point. It's not great towards the end. I'm like halfway through the Boo Saga, so I'm like almost done that thing. But they need to find somebody else to work on that on Dragon Ball Z games going forward. It's not good. At this point. And then we did a little Forza and some GameCube games. What did I play? Oh, I did some Tony Hawk on the GameCube. And I played, get ready for this, Nate. Brace yourself. Mario Sunshine.
Why? It's just terrible.
It's a pretty good game. We can start that conversation right now.
Oh no. I ended up I was capturing footage for videos, and I ended up just playing a Mario game on the 64 for longer than I should have. and then I did Mario Sunshine for like an hour and a half, and I didn't mean to, but I still like Mario Sunshine, Nate. I don't care what you say.
Like, it's not a bad game. It's just I don't think it's as good as other Mario games.
It's not as good as like Galaxy, obviously, or Odyssey, nothing like that. But
to me, it is a bottom tier mainline Mario.
That's still a good Mario. That's still a good game, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying I won't speak for Nate, but when I display or have my displeasure of Super Mario Sunshine, it's not because I think it's a bad game. I just don't think it's as good as other Mario games that are out there.
No, I think that's fair. Like you get like Galaxy 2, and then you go to Sunshine, you're like, okay, yeah.
Galaxy 64, Odyssey.
I don't know.
I think I actually like Sunshine a bit more than 64 after playing both of them back to back recently.
What?
Yeah.
Sacrilege. What? I quit. I'm out.
Although I will say part of that might have had to do with the Nintendo 64 thumbstick. So that thing is.
Yeah, well, there's that,
painful.
and then the bonus stages where you're forced to not use the flood. They're just pure platforming. That's like genius. So
I also like Sunshine because that was like, to me, that was like the golden generation of gaming at the time. So I like the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era a lot.
it's a pretty good generation.
Not bad.
Jordan, what'd you play, man?
Not a whole lot this week, actually. Didn't get a chance, enough free time. I kind of got forced to edit a lot more than I thought I had to this week. So no gaming for me.
Thought this was a gaming podcast.
I know. I tried.
That's fine. That's fine.
Didn't make it work.
Let's go. Shadow Fox he'll save it here. Okay, Jordan. What are you up to, man?
Well, as always, constantly playing Killer Instinct, trying to get a little bit better here.
Were you part of that like the Killer Instinct campaign that was being run by Maximilian and some others?
No.
Okay.
I wish I was, but that I would definitely want to be part of that tier. But Max is like so much better
because that was getting blown up on Twitter. They were trying to get like Microsoft to Phil Spencer attention and everything. That could actually be, you know what? That could be a cool title to throw on the next generation Xbox at their event to put as like a reveal. That would be neat. Get a fighting game in there as well for some, just like, because they have their shooters, they got the racing games. You'll throw a fighting game in there. That'd be cool. That'd be neat if they did that.
Killer Instinct is the reason I bought an Xbox One. I spent $520 just for that game.
Killer Instinct is good. It's just the beginning, like the lack of characters was, I think, just like that was just kind of devastating for a lot of people too. Like at the beginning, there was only like 8.
Yeah, and people didn't like the character designs they chose also, so they had to go back and add the classic character costumes and stuff like that. But then people started coming around after that.
Okay. What are you playing? Anything else?
Yeah, so believe it or not, I just set a personal record on Nano Assault Neo on the Wii U. Believe it or not, so I just went back and started playing. Like I'm going through all my Wii U stuff. I have a backlog, insane backlog, which it's hilarious to me that people say the Wii U didn't have any games, and I have so many games I haven't played for it or finished. But so I'm playing Hyrule Warriors as well for it. And getting destroyed in Celeste right now on Switch. So between those 3 platforms, I'm pretty much swamped because you have to work in between that. So. Oh
yeah. Well, then Celeste will make you do the same level and over again for like an hour half the time. You get further in, that thing just starts messing you up. Very cool. What about MVG? Okay, I know one game you've been playing. All right,
I am playing the biggest hidden gem for.
Oh, here we go. All right. This is good. Okay.
Contra Rogue Corps, which Sean played the demo of this game and completely trashed it. I've been playing it this weekend, and it's pretty damn good for $20.
Oh, you wanted to say the F word? Just say it.
Wait. Is it pretty damn good and it's $20, or it's pretty damn good for $20?
It's pretty damn good for $20.
Okay.
I like it. Look, let's be real. It's not a Contra game, but it's a really good Smash TV style game, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. So
okay, everything hinges on this MVG. Should I buy it for $20 on Amazon? Right now.
Yes.
Right now. Yes.
I mean,
okay.
you should.
I'm clicking it.
Use my affiliate code to this game.
It's $40 on eShop still, so get it on Amazon. Yes.
I'm clicking it. All right. It's on the way.
It's fun. And look, to be fair, it's been patched about 3 or 4 times since it came out. I get it, but I'm enjoying it. I think if you go into it expecting not a Contra game, but expecting a Smash TV style twin stick shooter, you're gonna have fun playing it, and I'm enjoying it.
Okay, very cool, man. Very cool. And everyone needs to check out MVG's video on Monday because he's not saying the other game that he played. I know what it was, and it's going to be a good video.
Yeah,
it's going to be a legit video. I'm really looking forward to that one. I got to see it. OJ, what you been up to, man? Been playing?
You know what, man? Byleth came out this week, so just been playing a ton of Smash Brothers with Byleth. Really mixed in terms of how good Byleth is at this point or not, but we've already got some people winning some notable tournament with Byleth. We've seen some progress from like MKLeo and some of the other Smash players. I think there's a lot of potential. People were hating on Byleth, obviously, a Fire Emblem character, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, this is the most fun Fire Emblem character, in my opinion. Like, the other characters just don't feel as fun to use because Byleth has all sorts of weapons. So it's just cool to break people's shields, to freaking hit them with that super powerful bow, great neutrals, crazy recovery with the Sword of the Creator. Anybody who's played Fire Emblem, that sword whip thing, it like recovers from nearly anywhere from above or below. It's just, Byleth's just super fun to use, honestly. Like, I just really enjoy it. So I've been playing a ton, getting to Elite Smash, then losing one match, then getting out of Elite Smash. And then like I win a match and then I'm not back in Elite Smash. Like, it's so frustrating, but I've been having a ton of fun playing, getting better. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this week, is just playing Smash Brothers, using Byleth, getting better at the game, trying to do my best. Probably gonna go to local again at some point. They're like, where have you been for the
gotta
past
lose
year?
to that 12-year-old. Go for it.
Dude, that was the problem, man. Like I went there and it just felt like I was at like the most. Anyway, I won't go there, but like I feel out of place going to these Smash tournaments. That's all. At least in my area, I do.
Final rounds in a couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh, I feel out of place. They come there and they're looking at me like, "What are you doing here?"
All right, Nate. Let's hear it. What have you been playing? What's the game?
The hell is it called?
Chug the NyQuil.
Yes. It's not a good game for people to play. Very dangerous. What the hell is it called? Rise.
I want to hear Sean try to sing that. You might have Sean sing.
I can.
Okay.
God.
Go ahead, Nate. You said Rise of Insanity.
Yeah, it's like layers of fear. You walk around and things scare you.
Well, now I gotta buy it.
It comes out like the 16th of February.
Is there going to be direct feed footage on your channel?
There already is some direct feed footage on my
What?
channel.
They could watch it right now?
They could.
That's
Right
crazy.
now. And get scared from the... I guess the character killed his wife and his son or something.
Sounds like a lovely
Okay.
game.
All right.
You don't actually see it happen, but like some little kid's like, "Daddy, come play with me." Then all of a sudden you're like in a morgue.
All right.
Yeah, you're going crazy.
All right. Thanks, Nate. Thank you. Anything else, or is that the big indie game of the week for you?
I'm playing another one to Metroidvania, but still under embargo until next week, so I can't have.
How's Pokemon going?
I got to the 4th gym, and then I was like, I'm too sick to deal with this crap right now.
Oh man!
If I see Hop one more time, I can't.
Oh, man. And then Sean, what you been up to, man?
I've been playing Need for Speed Heat.
Oh, nice. What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I think it's really good. I don't think it's great. There's a couple things that the driving mechanics took me a while to get used to. I almost wish it was the driving mechanics. I almost wish it was like a Forza and Need for Speed Heat had like a baby. I think that like Forza driving mechanics, but like kind of the styling of Need for Speed Heat. And the other thing I don't like about Need for Speed Heat is it's still a early 2000s car game. Like all of the people are like douchebags that you would see in your Walmart parking lot with like their underglow Hondas that are like barely running.
Dude, that's
and like
Need for Speed Underground, man.
I know, but like we've evolved since, like car culture has evolved since then to where like that's not the popular thing, but it's like, I don't know, they're trying to push that as a popular thing. But I've been playing that. I've been playing a bunch of the Evercade as well.
Oh yeah.
Cool system, honestly. I was actually liked it more than I thought I would.
Nice.
And I mean it's definitely super niche.
How many game cartridges do you have for it?
10.
10. Wow. Geez, that's actually quite a few.
Yep, they're all $20 a piece. They're varying companies that release them. There's an Interplay collection, Technos collection, Data East, a couple Atari, a couple Namco collections. And the company actually told me that there's more collections being announced soon that will be coming out in later on this year too. So I'm interested to see what other companies they have on board. But if you like retro stuff and you like collecting, I think it's a pretty cool system just because of the low entry cost of the cartridges themselves.
When is it coming out officially?
It officially comes out on April 6th.
Nice.
Is it gonna end up in stores?
I'm not sure. I know they're on Amazon right now with both of the packs and all of the cartridges. So, I mean, that's probably the easiest way to pick it up. But
they can sell them right next to the Atari VCS. That's definitely going to end up in stores.
Yeah, okay. Right now, in the Atari Hotel as well.
They got that to you pretty dang early then.
I still haven't heard from Atari, by the way. So I don't know if my VCS...
Wait, isn't it coming out in 4 weeks from now?
I don't know. I was supposed to get it in December.
No, it's canceled. Now they're making hotels.
Gosh. I'm supposed to get it before that first run because I was one of the first people that like bought into the VCS or something for the Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I might not get it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I also got an Oculus Go. I am now a VR man.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to hear about this because this was fascinating because you show up on Twitter and you go, "Hey guys, I might buy this Oculus Go," and it shocked me, to be honest.
I mean, it was on sale, and people are like, VR is cool. I will say, I can't speak for the other Oculus systems or other VR systems, but the Oculus Go is absolute diarrhea for games.
We should move to that Quest, man. The Quest would have done it.
It's too much, though. Like, I just wanted it for experiences, and I just wanted it to, like, watch movies and stuff, and it is absolutely fantastic to watch movies. Like, I love watching movies in that thing. Now, I will say, here's a little mini rant for you guys. People bitch about video game companies reselling their games for, you know, prices. Look at the digital movie marketplace. Like Batman Returns, Batman, the original Batman that came out in 1989, over 30 years ago, is $15 to purchase on Amazon Prime. $15 for a 2-hour movie. Like, what the hell is this shit? These movies should be like $5 or less.
That's why I buy physical. You can get that on Blu-ray for like $2.
I can't watch physical on my stupid Oculus Go.
Oh, then maybe everyone should not just move to digital then. Because it's not working out for everyone.
Give me a way to watch physical movies on my Oculus Go then, because I love the big screen. And
you know what's funny? You can go buy the physical copy, and it comes with a digital.
It comes with a code. Yeah.
Then you can watch it digitally, and you paid less than buying the digital version. There you go.
Yeah.
It's also in 4K now. You can even get that for cheaper than what you paid.
Yeah.
I don't know this VR bullshit. Like, I just wanted to try it out.
Jordan, do you have like your massive Blu-ray collection next to you so you can do what Dreamcast guy does with games? Just
no,
grab a Blu-ray.
No, it's like all the way across there. So okay. I'd be like, I'll be right back. I got it. I got it right here, guys.
Sean, explain to everyone your experience with VR, because this was funny. You told me where do you have your setting? Because basically you put the headset on and it puts you somewhere. Where does it put you to watch your movies?
Like a movie theater.
You were so amazed. You're like, they put me in I'm in a private movie theater right now.
It's awesome. I sit there and just eat my popcorn, my little smart popcorn.
Can't you also do it on the moon?
There's all sorts of different stuff. Like, I watched Jurassic Park today, and it was like the greatest thing ever because it was only $10.
Well, you can get it for cheaper. But if you know, maybe it's like the PlayStation VR, but you can watch if there's like a way to get a 3D version of it, because what it does in VR with the 3D is so cool. I've watched a lot of 3D movies in VR, and it almost, even though you're still wearing the headset, it feels like glassesless 3D. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I saw some stuff. Like, there's a program, I think it's called Virtual Desktop or something, and like you can basically access all of the stuff that's on your computer on the headset. So like you could download 3D movies legally on your computer and then access it, but the app is like $10, and I haven't convinced myself to spend the $10 yet because I'm cheap.
But you spent $150 on the headset.
Well,
and then $15 on Batman.
And then $10 on Jurassic. And $10 on Jurassic.
Let me ask you this, Sean. After experiencing VR like that in your own home now, are you interested to at least see what a more expensive, a better headset would do for games?
No.
You're not interested at all in seeing what it would do, like how it would function, any of that?
No, I just don't think it would be as fun because there's limitations, you know. And there's actually a way with that virtual desktop app, people use it to play Steam games and then use an Xbox One controller and then play their Steam games on the big screen. I don't know. I was reading.
See, if you got the Quest, they have the link that would let you plug it into your PC as well. You should have just got that Quest. You can play Beat Saber on it, man.
The Quest is like $500.
It's $400.
That's a lot of money.
It's a write-off.
It's still a lot of money.
I can see you with like the headset in VR, like that on your head, like in your thumbnail. It's like before you buy VR, like your Labo one.
Yes.
Oh yes, man. Indeed. Evan, what'd you play this week, man?
I just got back into Overwatch, but I've been boot camping pretty hard for digital painting stuff. I got to get some stuff done this week.
We're hitting Temtem soon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely do
that. Yeah. They sent us codes over and we haven't played them yet, so we'll do that soon.
It's installed. I just haven't opened it yet.
Yes. We've been building stuff. the desks from IKEA type stuff, not great. So we're working through it, but we're gonna get on Temtem at some point. We played it in the alpha, so I just wanted to go back and try it now. Did you play more of that, Jordan, or no? You didn't get a chance.
I've played a total of 8 to 10 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's about right. All right, Evan, we got a Discord question before we move into the topics.
We can go with one of our basic 4 RGT questions. Which body part of Mitch did Nate trick you to eating, and is it that made you sick, or the raisins?
I would say it's a limb. I mean, because there's multiple limbs, and I guess it would be more like fingers, because like the leaf is a finger or like a foot, and then like the arm is the limb, which is the branch. So I would say that. But no, I mean, it was disgusting tasting, but I don't think that maybe, because I didn't get sick until like the next Saturday. So unless it just took a week for it to hit. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go over to the Switch Pro, and then I'll hit some of the super chats that also came in as well. But let's go over to the Switch Pro. This was after they put out their finances. They had a briefing with investors. This was not part of the Q&A. This was a prepared statement by Nintendo that they wanted to word very, very carefully and as thorough as possible, so that they did not respond to a Q&A, I guess, with that. They instead said, regarding Nintendo Switch, we believe that it is important to continue to communicate the appeal of both Nintendo Switch systems and expand the installed base. Please note that we have no plans to launch a new Nintendo Switch model during 2020. This was from the president Furukawa. So after all of that, we had the analyst predictions for a Switch Pro this year. Well, we had a lot of speculation running around, and then Nintendo just comes out and pretty much shoots it all down just before we got into February, right away in January, which makes sense for them if they don't want to do it because they want the current Switch to sell. But what was everyone's thoughts on that? I know a lot of people on here are probably not surprised to hear that. Like, no one's really like shocked. Yeah, I know. But what was everyone's thoughts on this? We can go to Shadowfox here, our guest man. You can let us know what your thoughts are on the Switch Pro stuff that was going around and everything.
I don't know how to really begin here, but there's just a lot of effective confirmation bias all the time. The goal is we have to get to the result of a Switch Pro must happen. So any information that we get that looks like it could point to a Switch Pro, yes. Any information that kind of makes that look muddy, ignore. So starting the story all the way back from the beginning, Semi-Accurate talked about the NX, which would be the Switch or whatever, on the 12th of May in 2016.
Oh, you're going way back.
Yeah, nobody wanted to believe them because they're like, whoa, NVIDIA? They're not going to use NVIDIA for that. They're going to go AMD, right? Even I believe that at the time.
Who was dumb enough to believe that, man? Freaking idiots.
Even I believed it at the time.
This is before my time. Nate and OJ know about
we went that crap.
All I remember from back then is that a YouTube channel got bodied.
We were going about this way back when, like way back in the Gamers at Large days. But it was when that came out, like nobody. It was the whole Laura K. Dell and I forget the other girl's name, what have you. They kept going back and forth, having different predictions or what have you. Emily Rogers obviously had some type of inside information. I guess I'm thinking that it all came from the Foxconn leak because that's where Semi-Accurate got theirs from. It was legitimately from the Foxconn leak. They talked to the manufacturers there and they got the information as far as who's going to develop the SoC. They found out who was manufacturing SoC while they were literally printing them overseas. And lo and behold, I want to say a couple of months later, the Foxconn leak was confirmed. People started seeing pictures from Reddit and whatnot, and started seeing little documents, and of course some of the actual the patents started coming out because Nintendo had to do it for China, so nobody would steal their IP over there while they were manufacturing. So after all that came out, there was a bunch of leaks and stuff like that. Around the same time that the Foxconn leak happened, there were very particular things that they mentioned within the leak. They mentioned specific things about the Joy-Con, namely the names of the buttons for SL and SR on the inside of the controller that nobody else was talking about at the time. So Foxconn was the true legitimate leak regarding how this hardware was being made. And obviously, since they made the hardware, yes, they would know this stuff. The burn-in test with the millions of fish and whatnot, which actually showed up in Super Mario Odyssey. Believe
they
it or
got
not.
they got the weights of the Joy-Cons correct as well,
Yes.
and like down to the exact gram. Because I remember
The exact gram.
Yeah, because they showed it on Nintendo's site, and I was like, we should go look at that Foxconn leak again.
So where I'm going with this is, so while they leaked that, they also leaked the size of the SoC itself. And the size of the SoC came in two sizes and not one. There was one that was 100 millimeters squared and one that was 200 millimeters squared. So people were beginning to believe that, hey, you know, there's going to be two different Switch models coming out here at this point. Turns out that the 200 millimeter square one that everybody was thinking was a TX2 or some type of upgrade to Switch or whatnot ended up being a developer version with 64 gigs of storage that they were using. Obviously, it's early development units, test units or whatnot. So sometime in 2018, we go look, and sometime in 2018, the 5.0 firmware update came out. And that's when we started talking about the Miracle chipset and traces of the name of the Miracle chipset, the T214 versus the 210 that's inside of the Switch. There were headers and names and references for that SoC inside of the Nintendo firmware, like official. Then Nintendo gives this vague statement saying, hey, look, there will be no mention of a new Switch model at E3 because they were going to launch the hardware after E3. And it was what we expected it to be. It was going to be a die-shrunk version of the T10 that's in the original Switch for better battery life and a little bit better performance depending on the game or whatnot. So a little bit higher clock on the CPU, a little bit more memory bandwidth, that sort of thing. The same things you would see in the update of like a 3DS or whatnot. That didn't satisfy some people. They wanted, we have to compete with Microsoft and Sony. And I don't know how certain individuals have been following what Nintendo does, but Nintendo always does cheap. Everybody tends to think about the N64 and the GameCube as if they were really expensive pieces of hardware. They actually made the N64 because it was cheap and fanless. That was the only reason they would do that with then RX, I guess, and Silicon Graphics. And then once they talked with RX again for the GameCube, they decided they wanted to make it cheap. The most expensive part would have been the CPU. So going forward, that's all Nintendo does. They refine. They did a multi-decade deal with IBM for their CPU for GameCube, Wii, and Wii U. And they refined it. They remake it. They take it and they take the same CPU. They die shrink it. They add stuff to it and do things you actually think wasn't possible because the original GameCube CPU was never intended to be multi-core. It never had Mercy support. It never had those type of registers inside of it. Somehow they got to tinkering and made it happen. And lo and behold, that's what you see inside of the Wii U. It's technically impossible, but they did it. And they did it because it's cheap. It's cheap to produce. So why Nintendo would buy a brand new SoC from NVIDIA just so they can get a couple more frames per second in 720p or 1080p and possibly do some 4K stuff when they have over 50 million users right now and split the user base is beyond me. And I hear a couple of conversations, Shadow Fox, they won't be able to run Game X or Game Y. That's not necessarily true. You just need time. You need time and money and a budget to develop these games for this platform. Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, per core, the current Switch that we're playing right now has a faster and more efficient CPU than the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One have tablet CPUs, and they are older, and they wanted to wait for what's inside of the Nintendo Switch right now, but they couldn't. It was a year. It came out a year after the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 launched. They couldn't hold out, so Nintendo bought the cheapest, better thing as far as CPU goes. GPU obviously is going to be limited because it's running at watts, but as far as code, it can run all the code. It's all there. So, and this thing can upscale to 4K. So I don't know why certain people were saying that it couldn't, but it can.
Yeah, the X1 could already do. You can already do that with like what the MVG expert with the NVIDIA Shield over there.
Yes.
4K is something the X1 pretty much takes care of without any issue. So
the video encoder inside of this thing is perfectly capable of doing that. It supports up to 4 1080p streams simultaneously. So if Nintendo wants to do something crazy, they can. Obviously, performance will differ depending on what you're trying to do, but the video encoder itself is capable. So I mean, it's literally a firmware update. So I don't know why we need a new SoC to do things that the Switch can already do, but apparently this justified the whole Switch Pro mantra, and here we sit. And I've been laughing the entire time.
I think it'd be we talked about this a bit, where it'd be better for Nintendo to mostly work towards a next generation Switch years from now, rather than I mean, they did it with the new 3DS, right? Where Minecraft only works on the new 3DS, right? 2DS,
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes, Xenoblade Chronicles.
But even now, the Switch, I almost feel like Nintendo looks at the Switch right now, and even they're a bit surprised. You know, they're kind of like, wow, okay, this thing's really selling right now. Maybe we should, because they're saying they want to try to, their quote says that they want to work towards showing the Switch Lite off a bit better, is what they said. Kind of going beyond that, expanding, because the Switch Lite is still technically being outsold by the hybrid unit, the actual, like the regular Switch, if you look at like the financial stuff.
So part of that is weird because it's kind of proving me right and proving me wrong at the same time. My original prediction was what I saw when they originally announced NX, that it was going to be part of an ecosystem. So I was thinking it was going to be an NX family of devices. That didn't turn out to be true once they launched Switch, because Switch was both of them. So obviously when you develop for Switch, you develop for both mobile and handheld at the same time. But now that there's a Switch Lite that's pretty much mobile only, they're kind of slowly creating that ecosystem. So I'm not really sure. I kind of want to say I'm right, but then I'm actually wrong, because they didn't, first of all, it wasn't AMD. And second of all, it ended up being a hybrid. So it kind of did both instead of being multiple devices.
I mean, as long as the games work on all their systems they put out, like all these different, I actually don't care how many they put out, because as long as you just take a game and you pop it in your Switch Lite, you pop it in your hybrid Switch, maybe they put out their own little, we talked about the idea of like a little PlayStation TV looking thing that you buy that's cheap, and they make it even cheaper than that. Whatever, and just put them all over the house, and you just move around with your account. Right, MVG? We were talking about that. And, do you have anything to add to that, MVG, with the idea of the Switch Pro or the
I mean, I think the only thing I want to add is really that I'm glad Nintendo put this to bed this year, honestly, because
it was going to be a long year.
There's been so much back and forth with this stuff, and it's really something that was never going to happen this year. So I feel pretty good that they just put that to bed, and that we can just move on and get on with all the awesome games that they're going to start announcing this year. And that's really, I think that's what's really important is the games that we see from Nintendo this year. I don't really care about specifying or thinking about what type of hardware they may bring out, but I think next year, anything's on the table for next year. There's a possibility they'll bring the Switch Pro next year, but I'm just glad that they kind of put it to bed this year, honestly.
It's tough. It is tough to predict Nintendo. I will admit that with their MVG. But when I saw, I think the game that really did it, that I looked at and I said, do they need that? Do they really need it? It was Luigi's Mansion 3. And you fire that thing up. Oh my gosh. I'm looking at that like,
it's a pretty game.
And The Witcher, man. And The Witcher. I mean, I still just am in absolute like stunned awe how they pulled that port off. I mean, it's technically brilliant what they've done there, and it really just kind of illustrates what is capable, what you can do on the Switch as it stands today. There's really no reason to move to a more powerful system at this time.
You got 60 frames out of that thing.
Yep. And I'm hearing they're bringing out a patch, and they're teasing the patch. It's going to be like significantly.
It's going to overclock.
So I'm wondering if they drop in the 60 frame, the 60 FPS mode in there. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But I'm looking forward to see.
You just found like a settings tab, didn't you?
Yeah, it is.
Started messing with stuff.
Yep, you can unlock the settings tab. I think they're going to open up that settings tab with the next patch, so that'll be fun.
Interesting. Okay, that would be pretty neat to see how they tackle that. I don't know. I'm interested, I guess, going forward for a lot of the games this year, just to see what they have, because we're about to complete their third year, right? That'd be in March. And that's now is when you see those studios that had to restart earlier on with their new projects. You start seeing those, and maybe Retro Studios has something with Prime. What do you think, Nate? Help me out here. Come on.
He's dead. He's in that NyQuil coma.
I heard the snoring.
You're not getting anything retro in 2020.
Man. All right, fine. Fine.
You heard it here first.
Well, I heard Nate, and it's a shame because I didn't put out our predictions video yet. I heard the holiday title is gonna have wheels.
Yeah, you heard that on Twitter.
I read it on Twitter. I didn't hear it on Twitter.
Well,
Peter
tires.
Tires. It's gonna have tires.
I mean,
what did I say in that?
Tires.
A lot of games have tires.
What did I say in that predictions video though? It's not out yet. We recorded it like a week and a half ago because we thought there'd be a direct at some point soon, and it didn't happen.
Really think I remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
We predicted like 95 games for a 30-minute direct.
At one point, we were talking about like N64 and games and all this other stuff, and that was all over the place.
I'm pretty sure we had like a remake of Rogue Squadron 1 coming out. So
hey, man, I was dreaming, man. I was dreaming heavy there.
If you just predict everything, you'll be right on something.
See, OJ's with me.
Well, I mean, come on. There's a lot of YouTube and Twitter channels that do exactly that, and they became famous for it.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Oh man.
There you go.
Sean.
Hi.
What do you think about this Switch Pro news, man?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we called it last year when we did our little thing back in October, and then we got new news this year, and I was like, well, all because these people are saying it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be accurate. I mean, it doesn't. The whole crux for me is the fact that in terms of, raw power or whatever, a Switch Pro would still be at absolute best, in raw power wise, be an Xbox One VCR at best. So what's the point? There's no point in it, if you're going to, and now you're in the 3-year mark, you've sold 53 million roughly, so far. You might as well just write it out at this point. Like, it would be cool. Yes. Would I buy it? Yes. Would I hope that it makes games look better? Yes, sure. Like, that's not the point. The point is you had to sort of base it in reality. And the reality of it is it just doesn't make sense. And I see lots of people saying, oh, well, Nintendo said there wasn't going to be a new 3DS, and then they did a new 3DS. That's a different story.
Oh, Nate wants to comment on that, I bet.
That's a little specific.
Are you too NyQuil drunk, or do you want me to try this?
I'm still coherent.
Okay.
Right.
Nate.
So basically, just cover the two things that people say: Nintendo with the new 3DS and why they said that, and then the Switch Lite situation. Go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay. There's a big difference between Nintendo talking to investors and Nintendo talking to IGN or an outlet and saying nothing. That when you talk to IGN and a media outlet, that's called marketing. You can mislead in marketing. Talking to an investor, you're going to be more direct. You're going to be more open because they're your investors. They give you money. So last year, Nintendo said there'll be no new hardware at E3. And then the Lite was announced about a month later, and people said, oh, see, they lied. No, there was no new hardware at E3. E3 is a pretty clear, that's the clear thing there, E3. But people still want to cling to that. Then they cite a random interview that Nintendo did with a Japanese outlet in January and say, well, look, see, he said there's going to be no new hardware in 2019. Okay, well, that's to a media outlet. That wasn't to investors. Saying it to a media outlet is the equivalent of nothing. Just like when Miyamoto said, yeah, we're not launching a new 3DS, and the next day they announced a new 3DS. They can say anything they want to media. And people have to stop trying to connect the two and say, well, Nintendo's lying. Nintendo was very deliberate with their words. They didn't answer this as a random investor question. They added it to their investor briefing. And people are going to say, oh, it's because of the Osborne effect. They want to make sure they continue selling through 2020 before they announce this new model and release it at the end of the year. Could that be something? Yes, but they would have chosen different words. They would have said, we have nothing to announce at this time. We have no comment. Instead, Nintendo came out and it was very blunt with we're not releasing new hardware in 2020. It's cut and dry. It's clear as day. So you can just move on from that. People are going to just continue to think, oh, they're lying. They're trying to throw us off track. And that's going to continue for months until I guess until we basically hit the end of the year and nothing came out. Now, could Nintendo announce a Switch Pro or revision successor, whatever you want to call it, let's say in October, and say it's releasing in March of 2021? Yes. And it would still fit the statement they gave this week. So, I mean, people are actively trying to say Nintendo is lying to people. And they're taking radically different examples and saying, well, see, this is where they lied. I mean, if you're going to make these claims, at least find statements made to investors and not just use random media outlets. Get a one-to-one comparison.
I think that was confirmation bias. They thought that the investor statement was the lie, and then once you tell them, look, they was talking about E3, they went to go find anything else. They look close to that, and that's kind of where, especially on Twitter, or if you talk to anybody on in comment sections or whatever, it'll be a little bit back and forth from that. They'll say the one thing, you'll refute it, and then they're steady searching for something else as evidence, instead of just accepting the fact that, hey, you know what, you may have this wrong, especially if that was the first thing you gave me as evidence. It's the infernal thought process.
Twitter is a weird place for arguments anyway, because of that time lapse, and then there's like 200. Well, at least there's 240 characters now.
Yeah, now
that's my favorite place to go to get information and to learn and talk to people. Actually, I don't know what you're talking about, John, but
Twitter.
Don't listen to him on that.
Twitter.
So the NVIDIA piece, real quick. The other thing that I saw when the Marico thing was released, when the data miners found information on there. There were a couple of other extra registers they found on there that were pretty interesting, and I guess the odd thing that I found that was kind of neat was there were references for all the modern NVIDIA GPU, like PC GPUs, and that's kind of interesting. I don't know if Nintendo is planning on using this Switch firmware or this BSD kernel that they use for Switch going forward. But they went ahead and put in all kind of they put in RTX and all kind of different NVIDIA class types inside of the firmware. So they could be planning any type of thing for 10th generation, and they're already ready with the firmware.
See, that's the really interesting thing about the Tegra and NVIDIA and Nintendo is the Tegra's never had a place, really. I mean, it's been the Shield, and I mean, I've talked to you about MVG. The Shield really didn't sell enough for NVIDIA to care much about it, and so they moved it to self-driving cars, and they're like, all right, well, and they wheel out this big, Xavier thing, and they're like, this is our new Tegra, and they're like, wait a minute, I thought that was like in tablets and like in the okay. At least now there's a reason, selling over 50 million Switch units, that there's a place for a Tegra. Like, I remember do you remember, Evan, when back in the day the 3DS, I think it was the 3DS, was rumored at one point to have a Tegra in it. This is a long time ago.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Oh
Tegra
my gosh,
3 maybe
it was like a Tegra. I remember reading an article. I was like, the Tegra, because this is back when the Tegra was in the Nexus 7.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't forget the Ouya had the Tegra chip as well.
Yeah,
it was the Tegra 3 too, right?
Yeah, I have one of those. I think I still have that thing around here somewhere. It might be holding up a table or something. But that was the most exciting part, was like watching the Tegra actually has a place to evolve in now is in the Switch. And like, I have no idea what NVIDIA or Nintendo or what they're going to come up with, but they could do some crazy stuff with the Tegra chip, because they can actually put some money behind it, to go beyond being a home entertainment box, I guess. What do you even call the Shield? What do we look at the Shield as anymore, MVG?
It's like a streaming box, for movies, really.
Yeah, but even the new one that came out that looks like a tube just runs 32 like applications. It's like
that the only good use for that is for streaming movies. That's all it's good for, because you can't play anything 64-bit on there, so none of the emulators work.
So that's the most exciting part. So even if there's no Pro, I am looking forward to the next generation Switch. I know we're like years off, but just to see what they come up with that Tegra, because that could be some cool stuff. They could come up with some neat things there.
Yep.
That's the other thing too. Nintendo, if I would imagine everybody in here has followed Nintendo for some amount of time, for at least 2 or 3 generations. Nintendo always immediately starts working on their next generation hardware as soon as they launch the previous one. So 10th generation started as soon as Switch launched. and they're doing their R&D, and whatever this is going to be is what it's going to be, and they're working on it right now.
We talked about that was with you, Nate. I think we talked about how now that Shadow Fox mentioned this, that it's possible that Digitimes and some of these other people that are like talking about the supply lines and everything, they might have been hearing about stuff that would be even used for the next generation already, just because it's like they started working on the Switch. I think Miyamoto said in 2012.
Yes,
like
that was the original plan. Yes.
It's like, geez, so
well, that's the thing. I mean, every game company or every hardware manufacturer that develops game consoles has an R&D department. They're always building prototypes of whatever comes next. So I don't really think that's a huge surprise to think about those things. There's always going to be some research and development for the next generation or things they're trying out in order to either get the die process refined or get better performance with the same battery life, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that stuff is always ongoing. So I don't really think that's a big surprise.
Right. I mean, even with the Switch, it wasn't just, they didn't just make what we have as the Switch. There were numerous R&D prototypes of systems of varying formats and even like sizes and everything. It wasn't just, they didn't just come to this one model. There were probably half a dozen stages of NX at any point in time, and this is just what they settled on. So, I mean, this goes with even Sony and Microsoft. What we get as a final product, there were countless ideas experimented on prior.
Can you imagine how many things they went through before they landed on Ring Fit Adventure? Oh my gosh. Any other words on the Switch Pro before we move on? I think we probably won't, I think anyway, hear much about a Switch Pro for a year plus.
We're not going to talk about it next week, are we? I mean, this is it, right?
I got one more excuse to tear down. So I've seen a couple of comments talking about, well, Nintendo could still do it because they could still do Volta because Volta fits within the voltage regulations that the current Switch is, 11 watts to 22 watts or whatever. And so I'm like, well, but at what point would that be usable? Because there's the 10-watt variation that exists for the Volta the Xavier chip that has Volta has only like 384 shaders in it. And the CPU clock isn't higher at all. It actually has only 6 cores versus the 8 that are in Switch. So
yeah, they have to change up. Yeah, the CPUs would change. A lot of stuff would change there.
Yeah. That's a lot of code and firmware changing. So I don't think that's gonna work too well for them. They want to keep everything the same going forward in the same generation. So
that's why. Is it worth customizing a chip like that if that thing, we assume the Pro would be 400 minimum, right?
Yep. And you're talking about brand new R&D for a brand new SoC all over.
Because MVG, you've ported a lot of games, and your one thing about the Xbox One, the Series X, all that stuff, when you talked about that, was that porting to multiple platforms is more to account for.
Absolutely. I mean, I know we're deviating a little bit, but Microsoft say, our code will run on everything. Well, sure, it will, but I mean, you got to make sure your QA process is working on 5 different platforms, and then you have to patch things to make things work. So yeah, I mean, if you have different hardware, then you have to make things perform optimally on all of them.
Yeah. So. Be interesting to see, but I think this year is mostly going to be about the games for Nintendo. Although I would like to see another special edition after. Yeah, is Nate gone?
That's not me.
I thought Nate was gone. I thought that was Nate. Okay.
No, that's not me. I wasn't even near my microphone.
Okay. I thought that was Nate. That's fine. It's throwing me off. We saw that Animal Crossing special edition, so I have some hope now for that Metroid Prime special edition whenever that shows up.
That console looks sick. I want to get that console.
I'm not getting it. I don't need another one.
Yeah, no.
I know. Okay.
Maybe just get the Joy-Cons. I don't know.
You know what? Those Joy-Cons do look pretty good. But like I said, that Animal Crossing one, they spent a lot of time on it. I'm hopeful for a Metroid Prime 4 one. Really am. I think it's gonna look cool. So they better do it. Let's go over to Discord question, Evan. You want to hit us with that? Then I'll move over to Super Chats, and we'll talk about PlatinumGames after that.
What do you think are the chances that Mega Man Legends 3 gets revived for the Switch?
Why Why are you doing that to me?
I'm not doing it to you. It's people in Discord.
The chances are going to be fairly low, I assume. But I would like to, I mean, Capcom was talking about Battle Network the other day. Who knows? I'd like to think Capcom is all over the place with their Monster Hunter money now. So maybe they try it, but they got to get Mega Man X9 done first. Okay, let's get that done first. But probably low. I don't think anyone's really even talked about Legends since it got canceled. So how playable? Do we know how playable that build was, by the way? Because they played it over the shoulder at a convention at one point. I remember.
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, it was supposed to be released as a demo like a week after they canceled. Like they canceled it, and the demo was supposed to come out like the following week. So
yeah.
it was pretty playable.
Great. All right. Do we have another Discord question, Evan? I'm going to pull up these super chats now, and I got some stuff to stream live as well.
How is Nintendo going to punish Pokemon accounts that join raid battles of hacked players in Pokemon? Austin John apparently tweeted this earlier.
How are they going to do it?
Yeah, apparently they're going to possibly punish players who go into the hacked lobbies.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I would just assume whoever's in a hack lobby gets flagged, and then they get
banned
accordingly.
Man, I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. Because the hack lobbies, you might get pulled into one, by accident. Is that possible? Like you get pulled into one by
Yeah, and if you remember the Call of Duty lobbies, the hack lobbies I used to have on Xbox 360 and stuff.
Okay, some of those lobbies were funny though. Like when I went into like Halo 3 and a warthog was flying through the air. That was some funny stuff, you know. I was all right with that. But yeah, Call of Duty, man, those were some wild days back then, with people unplugging like their modems and their routers randomly, and oh my gosh. That's the Wild West back then of like online games. I have no idea how they're going to deal with that, by the way, because if you get pulled in accidentally, I don't know how they can tell because you're saying they might just start flagging people and then you're in trouble. So
I would think so. I mean, I'm not necessarily they're going to ban everyone that's in a hack lobby, but I would think they would at least flag those accounts.
See, we need a Pokemon. We need a Pokemon person. Oh wait, Jordan's a Pokemon person.
Me?
Yeah, so how does that work online when you do those raid battles? Can you get pulled in accidentally and then that person who's hosting it's like has a hack system?
I mean, if you just join, and I would assume the way they would go about it is whoever is hosting it, I would assume would be the people they would go after, who's ever hosting the hack lobby. Yeah,
I would say if for the data that you retrieve as you open and close a session from your game, just change the keys for it. So then when they go to a hack lobby or what have you, none of the legitimate information comes back. So you can play in a hack lobby and do all the kind of crazy stuff you want. Then you try to go into a legitimate match and none of the information that you had originally was there. So all the leveling up and whatnot, none of that stuff is possible.
I got to be honest, I don't have a lot of confidence in Game Freak being able to track that anyway. So
hey, they went to the ends of the earth for the leaks.
Yeah.
They're like brand new doing all this stuff.
We have another Discord question, Evan.
As recently reported, the Switch has sold 10.8 million consoles in the first fiscal quarter, 20.2 last calendar year with everything. Do you think this represents the peak of the console, or do you think the Switch will sell more than 20.2 million consoles for the calendar year of 2020?
For for the whole calendar year of 2020. Ooh, I think the problem is we don't know what the holiday title is right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's wait for the direct and see what we got on the list.
Because now there's apparently word that Breath of the Wild 2 will be a 2021 game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wasn't that the expectation of pretty much everyone for a while now anyways?
No, it's 2020, man. Come on.
I think Animal Crossing is going to help a bit.
Oh, Animal Crossing for sure is going to help. That's going to be... People forget how strong Animal Crossing is. That is... Like, the last Animal Crossing I really played a lot was on the GameCube. And after that, I kind of fell out of it. But I recognize that is a massive seller. Like,
I do think though that Animal Crossing, you might not see like it crazy at the beginning. Animal Crossing is one of those really long like evergreen titles. I remember at one point it was like selling in the top 20 for Japan, like the sales numbers for the 3DS title, like 5 or 6 years after the game came out. So it was just a long time period, you know.
Sure.
in terms of the game. So we'll see a big explosion, when it does come out in March, but then over the course. But like you said, like we got to wait and see what they have, because there's rumors of, games with tires, maybe Mario Kart,
if it was Mario Kart, that'd be crazy. Yeah.
That'd be huge. I mean, that could beat out Pokemon's record. I'm not sure. We're not to that part yet. We're not talking.
Mario Kart's interesting. Like I kind of predicted there'd be a new announcement for one this year, but man, that game just keeps selling so much. So why do they want to disturb that? Like I'm not saying I'm going back on what I said, but
it sounds like you're going back.
I'm questioning it a little bit. It's like it just
Whoa there, buddy. You need to slow down.
Well, I mean, what I would think, it would disturb it a bit, but if you can sell 20 million copies in a month and a half or in 2 months, you're fine with it being disturbed.
Yeah.
I think that would be the thing. And then maybe for some stupid reason, I don't know, maybe people will buy both, like New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Maker 2. Maybe people will just get both. Or
we actually do have another Discord question based on the racing stuff, because Nintendo really hasn't released a lot of racing titles from itself other than Mario Kart. Which other ones would we like to see on the Switch? Diddy Kong, F-Zero, Kirby's
F-Zero, F-Zero is the obvious answer, but I wouldn't mind kind of an adventure racing game like Diddy Kong. That's always fun, but everyone wants F-Zero
into that. Make
Sonic
F-Zero
R.
into that.
They need to take F-Zero and expand on that universe.
Yeah, make it to where cars can fly, and then you can race. Like make it like Sonic Racing Transformed, how there's both. Imagine that with F-Zero, where they just completely transform it into flying, and also on there, that'd be dope. You can get new parts, you do all this stuff, you have story mode, all this. F-Zero's tight. I don't know if people know, F-Zero has all sorts of crazy lore. Make a story mode. There is so much cool stuff that you can do with F-Zero to make it more appealing, to make it better. Just Nintendo has no ideas. They're not thinking about it that way.
They're gonna take F-Zero Watch and they're gonna unveil it, and it's gonna be like the Star Fox Adventure situation.
Oh,
you got Captain Falcon getting out of his.
Well, dude, I'd be down though. I'd be down for that.
It'd be different, right? So you'd be like, all right, we'll check that. They're still racing, but you're getting out and you're actually controlling Captain Falcon.
Xenoblade Chronicles X scales only.
I'm down. To be honest, I'm down for that. If it's I don't know, Sleeping Dogs, but with Captain Falcon.
Sleeping Dogs, wow. Jeez, Captain Falcon's collecting now. Oh man. Let me go through. That's the biggest thing. I think we need to see the holiday title whenever the direct happens in the next, we assume, couple weeks or whatever. Just start off the year. Or even at E3 if they don't show it till then. We just need to know what the holiday title is to gauge if it'll be able to move enough Switch. So we don't even know if, we assume it is. We don't even know if Bayonetta 3 is coming out this year. So there's a lot of dates that have to be filled in.
Something's got to come out this year.
Something right? We assume.
Just Animal Crossing only.
Dude, January was DBZ Kakarot, all right. So there was Tokyo Mirage Sessions as well, but for new games, it was we didn't have a Kingdom Hearts RE2 and then DMC5 like we did last year, just as examples. So what's coming out in February?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Darksiders Genesis.
There's a video that talks about 10 new upcoming Switch games coming.
What uploaded a video? What uploaded a video?
But I already played through I played Darksiders Genesis when it dropped on PC last year.
Yeah, but it didn't drop on consoles.
I guess it dropped on Stadia though. Did you get it there?
Okay, let's not get crazy here.
Let me go through some of these super chats. Fish Fan says RGT deli meat and dried fruit of the week.
Well, I kind of leaned off the dry fruit because that wasn't good. Deli meat was honey ham. I actually got a pound of it because I was really hungry.
Entire pound. Wow.
You look like a papaya guy. You should try that fruit.
I like pineapple. Pineapple's dank, but that's not dried.
You could get that, but you should get dried papaya.
That's an RGT shirt. Pineapple's dank.
Yeah. I tried dried mango once, and I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about dried chili mango?
That's oddly specific.
Yeah, this was just regular ass mango.
You should tried chili mango.
Maybe.
Sal Garcia says lovely time with SpawnCast. Thanks, Sal. Tesla Volta Games says love the podcast each week. Question: what Sonic games do you think will come out in the year of Sonic this year by Sega? Mania 2, Adventure 3, or an other?
Hopefully none.
Oh man.
Okay, they got
Sonic hate.
I just wanted people to go, oh my god.
I hope Mania 2. I would like to see Mania 2 happen, but Adventure 3 would be interesting just because I would want to see how Adventure 3 sells with all of the hype for that, because people say they want it, but I'm curious.
Yeah, that
Forces too.
Well, that one,
Oh, man.
that one does
Forces
kind of
2.
tie in with a Discord. Hopes for the outcome of the year of Sonic.
Oh gosh, man, I hope Sega has something good, because they started the year of Sonic. They better not just like release like a phone wallpaper on the 20th of every month.
What if they just did a Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 collection? Would you be okay with that?
Nah.
Let's get weird with it. What about a new animated series?
Oh god. Every time
you got,
Sega's re-released Sonic Adventure 1, they've messed up the port.
So then do 2.
It's true.
Hey man, 8th time's a charm. Come on.
2's a pretty good game.
2.
I just want
2 is
Chow's
fun.
standalone garden. I think, can you imagine if they, not a game, but like if they went mobile and just had a legit like Chow Garden mobile game, how big that would be?
I'd play it.
Yeah,
I'd play it. That'd get me into mobile. Absolutely.
Mr. Pete says, MVG, any idea how hard it would be to port Super Mario 64 to Vita or Switch now that it is decompiled?
Ooh.
It's decompiled now, so
More to come there. Let's just say that.
Oh, wait a minute, because you ported Diablo to the Switch.
Yes. I'm taking a look at it right now, Mr. Pete. I'm not saying I've got anything running, but it's definitely portable on to other systems.
Interesting.
But then there's the legality aspect of the whole thing. So, but
Nintendo's cool, man. That's all right.
Yeah, they don't go after anyone, man.
Yeah, they don't.
no, not at all. No.
So
Oh, man.
with the decompile, what are you? I guess I'm wondering here now. Is the majority of what's going to be done as far as the graphics drivers that's going to be on the Reality Engine? Are you going to make that all CPU bound, or how?
So it's pretty easy to port the graphics code, the N64 reality code to other graphics engines like DirectX or Vulkan or OpenGL. So that's really the main work that you need to do in order to get it to work. But I mean, if you think about N64 emulators that run on the PC that use like DirectX, that's essentially what they're doing anyway. So the work has pretty much already been done. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely doable. There's definitely work to do there, but it's something that can be ported.
Yeah,
That'd be
HLE
cool.
was a godsend back in the day. I remember that being a big thing everybody was waiting on to get that to work.
Yep. I think the one that gets me excited the most is probably Dreamcast. I mean, getting that to run on the Dreamcast would be kind of cool. It's certainly doable.
Yeah, they're decompiling Zelda Ocarina of Time now as well.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
That could use it.
That's just such a long process. I was talking to someone when they were going through it, and they're like, "Yeah, we gotta go through all of this. We gotta convert it back, and then we gotta go back, convert it back to machine code. Then we go back again, and it's like, oh my gosh." I'm like, guys, that's a lot of work. So, but maybe there's a video, I don't know, in the future about
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe one's coming. I don't
Maybe.
know. We'll see. Tesla Volta Game says, one more question. What did you all think of the new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer? Gush now. Yeah, I you know what I need? I need the demo already. That's what I need. All right.
Yeah, what's up with that? I mean, I love the trailer. The trailer was awesome.
looked
But
insane.
I
Yes.
woke up like Final Fantasy VII Remake is trending on Twitter. I'm like, here we go, boys. Demo's
Yeah, I
out. And I'm
know,
like,
I know.
where's the demo?
It looks great, man. I'm ready for that game just to play through it. Yes, it looked very, very, very good. Everyone should go check it out if you have not yet. But I need the demo. I need to see it. I need to see it when it's not being played on YouTube, like in a video.
Yep.
I need to see it like on the PS4 Pro, on the monitor, straight up.
Direct feed.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully soon. We thought it was going to be Friday or whatnot because the anniversary, and they didn't do it. So
What, the demo did not drop?
no,
Shucks.
it has to be before the game comes out because like the last screen says pre-order now. So
I don't know, man. I feel like the Direct, the PlayStation 5 reveal, and the Final Fantasy demo, they're all playing cat and mouse with each other right now.
Gosh.
Whoever goes first, the others will follow.
What the hell?
Blake 98, no message. Thanks, Blake. Shadow Next says, when will we get Netflix on Switch? It was on PS2 in Brazil and even on the Wii, so why not the Switch? It was on the PS2.
Isn't Netflix available in other regions on the Switch in the UK?
I don't
thought it was.
Not that I know
think so. They have Hulu's on the Switch, of course.
Yeah.
Then we have YouTube, but Netflix.
Plus on Switch?
Netflix is weird. We had like rumors of Netflix going to the Switch like a year and a half ago, and
Yeah, it's been a while.
Nothing
There
really
was a
happened.
plan, like Reggie said, that they were talking to Netflix. It was just they haven't developed an app.
Yeah, that's weird.
Netflix app for Switch has been going on longer than the goddamn Pro.
No, dude, the Pro was going on before the system came out.
What happens first? Metroid Prime 4 or Netflix?
Oh boy, well,
I think
now you
it's
about
time
to start
move
saying
on.
that.
I think it's time to move on from Netflix on the Switch. I think it's just time to get a smartphone. It's just time to move on.
It's gonna come. Netflix will come bundled with Metroid Prime trilogy. There you go.
Your TV has Netflix built in at this point.
No, it's time to move on from that.
Avedon says Raisinets come in a box, good sir.
Yeah, a box to kill you.
Console Gamer 97 says been playing Gen 4 this weekend since it seems we will never get a remake. What is everyone's favorite console? Mine is the GameCube. Their icon's also the GameCube, by the way, so they kind of gave it away before I got to the end.
Does he mean Gen 4 is in Pokemon?
Yes.
It's coming. Gen 4 is gonna get its remake soon enough.
Is that along with Skate 4 as well? Like all that together?
Skate 4 is coming.
That's Skate 4, right? You say,
Skate 4 is coming. It's back in development.
Okay. What's everyone's favorite console?
My
Original Xbox.
Oh, good one. Okay, good one.
Super Nintendo, GameCube, and Switch. Super Nintendo, GameCube, Switch, Xbox 360. They're like all.
And 64. Chameleon Twist. Enough said.
32X.
What?
I got a book about it. You know, someone's selling a used copy of my book on Amazon.
Sorry, they got all they needed.
I was done with it.
Is your signature on it?
No, I think it was a purchased Amazon one, so I don't think it has a signature. But yeah, someone is selling a used copy, and the funny thing is, it costs more than it does just to buy it on Amazon because it's on sale on Amazon for like $17 right now.
Oh, nice. That's
I wonder
funny.
who's selling that used copy.
I kind of want to lean towards the Super Nintendo, but I did like the GameCube quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm taking Super
Nostalgia for the
Nintendo.
Cube. I think I'm gonna go with the GameCube. Actually, I think I'm gonna go with the GameCube. It's the controller that's still being used to this day.
Since I'm forced to, I typically refer to myself as an arcade fanboy because I enjoyed those games way more than any other console. But if I'm forced to choose, it's got to be this guy. So, and
It's a good choice.
I mean, it's a rock. This individual one actually went into a combat zone, believe it or not, and there's still sand in it, and still takes a lick and still keeps on ticking. So, go figure.
Let's see, what was that? Oh, Suppa Sandwich says, "How's it going tonight, my dudes?" Pretty good. Super Bowl tomorrow. Things are looking up.
Yeah.
Rob the Butcher says, "Oh, this is the one that I wanted Sean to read because I know he can pull it off really, really well. Do you want me to paste this for you, Sean?"
Nah, I mean, I can read the intro part.
There you go, Sean. Hit it.
I mean, I know the words.
Are you
No,
sure?
you gotta know the words.
All right. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer.
Go on.
Cat getting
That was all he asked to do.
Oh,
Yeah, God bless y'all for the best gaming podcast around. GG. Thanks, Rob the Butcher.
GGs.
Appreciate that. Mr. Job says MVG on Linus Tech Tips was a welcome surprise.
Yeah. I was on a Linus Tech Tips video recently. That was awesome to be on there.
And then
We're
shortly
also on
after,
the hate
Linus
video.
announced retirement.
I was on a recent Nate the Hate video, and stay tuned because we got more coming.
Yeah,
See, you
once
were-
I'm not diseased.
See, you're on Linus Tech Tips. I was on Linus Tech Tips. Sean's next, man.
Right on.
Linus won't like me.
When I think of Linus, I think of the dude from Charlie Brown. So. I like Charlie Brown. I should like this guy too.
Clayton Miller says Odyssey 2. I hope Sonic Mania 2 for 2020 is a must. Another 3D Mario like Odyssey 2. That'd be a big time seller, system seller. So
Just port Sunshine. I'll be happy.
Shut up, Fringe.
It's a pretty good game.
Not bad. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
We had a conversation one time that lasted like an hour and a half on Sunshine randomly on this podcast a while ago.
Next time there's a real discussion about Sunshine, I am bringing an army of supporters to my cause.
Oh no!
I will say this though, having played other attempts at third person action platformers, like Super Mario Sunshine is still like way above any other attempts out there. Like Nintendo has this affinity of making that work. I don't know how they internally design physics, because the physics aren't realistic. They just have a way to do it to where it feels the way that you would expect without it being realistic. And that's just something other developers, you see them try to create platformers and it just doesn't have the same feel at all.
Let's move over real quick to the next topic. We had PlatinumGames rumored to pursue a Kickstarter. That would be, as far as rumors say, this week actually starting up for Wonderful 101 for the Switch and the PS4. This is reported by Game Explain. They put it up on YouTube. But I will say this is something that's gone back for quite a while, actually. Months, maybe. I'm gonna say at least for me anyway, at least a month. It's been out there for a bit. But I was surprised that many people knew about this before Game Explain made that video. So I don't know. It was getting passed around quite a bit, and then they put it out, and now there you go. Everyone is now talking about Wonderful 101 coming back, and I would like to see that get ported to even Switch, PS4. I think that'd be great to see that game get another shot. But what's everyone think about? This is the interesting part. PlatinumGames doing a Kickstarter for a port.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So they're gonna be out here putting Bayonetta and Vanquish together. Get that out for the anniversary coming up, right? But no, Wonderful 101, you have to crowdfund it just to port it.
Different situation.
No, this is so stupid. For this game to port it to
Bayonetta and Vanquish are being published by Sega. Wonderful 101 is not being published by a major publisher.
And they can't do it themselves.
Apparently Nintendo is just not interested in doing anything with it.
This company themselves.
Did they just renew that IP with the rest of the IPs last week?
Well, the word is, I mean, the rumor has something with PlatinumGames actually attaining it.
Yeah, it's been licensed, or they've got it to do it, or Nintendo gave them the
blessing
blessing
from Nintendo.
Somehow.
It doesn't seem like Nintendo cares about it. So while I think that it's stupid in like theory, it's like, well, wait a minute, why is that happening? It's not going to happen probably any other way. I don't think PlatinumGames says, yeah, let's go this route for this. This is what I don't think they want to do that. I think they've stated.
Then don't port the game. If they can't afford it themselves.
Wait a minute.
If they can't do it themselves.
So what you're saying that it should never come at all just because they can't, like, there should be no way.
All I'm saying is they've made their money. They're not a little small indie company anymore. And they're doing pretty damn fine with their games. And I see this as just a big company kind of being like, well, if you want it, you pay for it.
I have to disagree.
They are a company for contract hire. They're
basically mercenaries.
Yeah. I disagree with that.
They mentioned that they want to self-publish, though.
I disagree with that.
Rare did.
Here's the reason why I disagree with that. PlatinumGames' best title ever sold is Nier. That's their 4 million copies. That's their best title ever. Is 4 million copies.
And it's a company with 224 employees. Okay, like I'm with Jordan on this. Crowdfunding is for the small person, the person who is trying to just do a passion project, who's out there. I don't like it when Todd McFarlane went to Shenmue 3 ended up not being that good of a game, and that's a whole nother story that I'll get into at the end of my rant. I don't like Todd McFarlane going to crowdfunding to say, help me do this. Todd McFarlane is worth millions of dollars. I don't like Spike Lee going to crowdfunding for a movie, and Spike Lee is worth millions of dollars. I don't like properties like Shenmue and Psychonauts and Tim Schafer.
What about Shaq Fu? You're telling me Shaquille O'Neal couldn't have funded that piece of crap?
Of course he could have, and that's Kickstarter and crowdfunding in general is for smaller companies. I don't like big companies going to crowdfunding because it sets a very dangerous precedent going forward. If this company can get away with it, then maybe we can get away with it.
Games is nowhere near as big as you guys are trying to time out.
224
They have some of the biggest, most talked about beloved games out there. Bayonetta.
They don't own any of those, Jordan.
But they are making money from them.
No, the publishers are
They're not broke. They have money.
Then how much money do they have then, Jordan? Since they have so much money.
How much money do they have? You tell me.
Not enough money to be self-publishing all the time.
Do we know if their contract?
They want to be into self-publishing. This is a smaller game that they could try self-publishing.
You're telling me they have so much money, yet none of their games have sold more than 4 million copies. Yet they have
they have that. They have the Bayonetta series. I heard Astral Chain, according to you, is doing fantastic. So what is this problem with, we can't afford it, so you guys can pay
How much
for
do we know about their contracts? I mean, there's a good chance the company has just paid them a lump sum and aren't giving them residuals for the sales, and they're just taking it all.
Right.
But you're assuming
right.
that.
There's a lot more to this deal than people know right now. And all I will say is it's not a rumor. The Game Explain report is legitimate. You'll find out on Monday. And there's more to this than anyone knows right now. I'm not going to get into it because it's Platinum's deal. They can announce it on Monday. But why they're crowdfunding it, that's for them to disclose.
Yeah, I almost thought that it wasn't going to get out there. I thought it was going to be like a big surprise on this week coming out.
No, there was never a chance that was going to happen.
No, you thought either way it was going to get out there.
The problem with this is that this has been months in the making.
Yeah, it's before the 10. It's before the 10 cents. So like people were wondering, it's before 10 cent came in.
Well before 10 cent.
Yeah.
Was involved in any of this. This was delayed for various reasons that will become clear on Monday, and people can judge it then. But the thing with crowdfunding is, it's up to the consumer to decide whether or not you want to fund the project. It shouldn't. Yeah, is it kind of scummy if like Nintendo came out and said, "Oh, we want you to give us $1 million to publish a new F-Zero"? Yeah, that looks a little shitty. Platinum is not a big company. You want to have Wonderful 101 on another platform?
No.
Hey, I mean, we don't even know what the crowdfunding goal is going to be.
How much did Wonderful 101 sell when it came out? Less than 100,000 copies?
Like 5 copies.
Right at 100, I thought.
5 copies.
Right
the Wonderful 101 sold, from what I understand, it sold around 200 to 300,000 copies.
I do have an estimated annual revenue for PlatinumGames and Jordan. They only are doing about 7.3 mil annually in revenue. So
that's so much for a
that's estimated.
That's so much.
Hey, the other solution is, hey, don't port it right now then.
Do you know how they were just not doing well enough to do it? The way you can tell is that they went to 10 cent.
Oh yeah, what happened with that? They can't use
the biggest gaming company in the world.
That's for something bigger.
Yeah, they're doing. I thought we were debating that they're doing like a real title, like a big.
They're gonna make their own stuff. Yeah, that's their future plan is to.
Well, they said that as much last year in interviews, where their intention is to release and to retain their own IP and to self-publish games. So Wonderful 101 can be the start of that plan for Platinum. This way they can expand. They can actually have some money so they can release their own games. And they're not going to be tied to Nintendo or Sega or Sony or Microsoft deals to develop and release software.
Okay, that game is a 1080p game, right? It came out on the Wii U. How crazy of a job...
Yeah.
Whatever. How hard of a game is that going to be?
Nate's trying to tell you there's more.
But right now, you're basing this on the assumption that this is a straight port.
Yeah, there's more. Nate's trying to tell you there's
but that's the difference. But from what we're all talking about, if we're going off this, okay.
You're being very good, Nate. I got to give you credit.
I actually.
That's fine. I'll just be cut off every time I try to.
Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. I'm done. Whatever.
Dude,
it's cool.
I wasn't trying to cut you off, man.
No, you're good. Go ahead. Talk about your Platinum games.
Okay, no problem. I was actually talking about this recently, and I was thinking like if they actually added in like new tiers and new stuff to the game, making multiplayer work and all that, because there was no online multiplayer for the game. So I just wanted to add that in. Like if they actually added stuff in that.
Then that's a different situation. But if this is just a straight up port, there's no excuse for them to ask people for that money to make this. It shouldn't be that hard of a port then. But if they are doing a lot more to it, and I mean a lot more, not just adding one tiny new feature, if it's a lot more, that's different. I still don't think a company on their size, whether you think they're small or large, should be doing this through a fundraising goal or a Kickstarter. They should either find a way to get the backing from someone else or try the self-publishing themselves without having to ask us to pay for it.
And shouldn't that tell you? But shouldn't that tell you something that if no, I mean, this is PlatinumGames, and no major publisher is willing to take on the game for them. Shouldn't that tell you something about maybe the appeal of the game? Like,
I don't think the game. I don't think it would. Yes. I don't think it's going to sell like gangbusters or anything crazy.
See, that's also where this Kickstarter can also be a gauge of interest. Like we saw Bloodstain, they looked at it as a kind of a gauge of interest, and then you had 505 come in. So, like this is a very realistic chance. Wonderful 101 will not hit its goal unless the goal is something reasonable.
Yeah, I was going to ask the question: what if it doesn't reach its goal? You know, how does that reflect on Platinum Games?
Let's say it gets 75% of its funding. Then someone may come and say, "Hey, you got pretty close. It seems there's interest. Now you caught our attention. We're going to step in." Like, let's just use Limited Run as an example of a company. Let's just say, "Oh, you needed $1 million. You know, we'll come in and we'll cover those publishing costs because based on what you showed, it seems like you've already finished the port yourself. You've put in the new content. The game itself is done. You just don't have the funding to market and publish the game." So you could get the interest of a small company like that to then come up. So that's where it's unfortunate it came out early because there's a lot of loose ends that aren't getting answered right now, and those will be answered on Monday once the Kickstarter is available. So that's kind of, wait for it to officially occur, and then a lot of these will be answered then.
I hope there's a tier where you donate so much money to the whole cause, and then you get to have dinner with Kamiya, because then, Sean, you can go and ask him why he blocked you on Twitter.
Well,
you think I'm going to give money to this Kickstarter? Get out of your fucking mind.
What if there's a tier that he just unblocks you? Would you take that one?
No, I'm not. I don't do Kickstarters. I don't do, especially with big projects. I've seen too many Kickstarters come and go. I've seen too many people get scammed. I've seen too many promises not get met. Like, if I don't know the people personally, or if it's not like a super small company that I can actually reach out to the individual and talk to them, I do not back any Kickstarters. Crowdfunding has been ruined by people taking advantage of things like this. And honestly, I feel like this could start a very nasty trend in the future if this goes well for Platinum Games. And that's
every port ever.
I mean, talking about like Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9, Bloodstain, which was disappointing, especially if it was the Nintendo Switch version. Shenmue 3, which was disappointing as a Shenmue fan. Like the Atari VCS, the Coleco Chameleon, the Ouya.
Hey, Atari's coming, man.
Like, how many failures and how many disappointments do you need in the world of video games from companies that seemingly are large and seemingly have a good idea or something before you realize that maybe this isn't the way to go about things?
But then that's not a failure of Kickstarter. That's you as the consumer for being uneducated and being an idiot. Stop giving money to stupid, shitty Kickstarter campaigns. Have some knowledge. Sit there and say, "Hey,
wait a second.
20 years. I'm not going to give them money for Mighty Number 9. It looks like a piece of crap."
Mighty Number 9 looked good.
Mighty Number 9 went from that concept art to a completely
the initial art for Mighty Number 9 looked like almost hand drawn.
Wasn't there Shovel Knight? Shovel Knight was a Kickstarter game.
Shovel Knight was a Kickstarter game.
Look.
Yeah, everybody's in F's.
Yeah. Jesus, it's not running on YouTube site.
It caught back up.
Yeah, it's a YouTube problem.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube might have.
It's still down, by the way. It went down again. So
this is all YouTube.
Yeah, this is YouTube for sure.
Someone said the chat looks like my report card back in the day.
Well, I was gonna say, let me ask you this then, Nate. Capcom,
who are you talking to? We're not live.
No, we are live now.
We're back. Let me ask you this, Nate. Capcom was in a really bad spot a couple of years ago, right? What if they took the Kickstarter to do like another Mega Man game or something in their condition then?
Then I guarantee the Mega Man fan base would have been excited about it, and they would have thrown money at Capcom.
Oh, okay. You don't think that would have been straight? You think it'd been like weird for Capcom to hit Kickstarter and been like, "Hey, you want Mega Man Legends 3? Put the money up."
There would have definitely been some questions, but when Shenmue 3 hit Kickstarter, I mean, that was weird because Sony made it sound like they were funding the game at the E3 and everything. And all of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, we actually have a Kickstarter."
If you're a multi-million-dollar company, you should have no right in crowdfunding something. And by definition, from Sean's research, Platinum is a multi-million-dollar company.
They're not a publisher though, right? They're still just a developer.
But they want to get into publishing. So if you want to jump into it, you jump in with something small, like a wonderful 101.
That's not.
Or maybe they contact limited run games and have them help working out the deal with them.
I'm worth $7 million and now I want to publish a game and it could cost me $3-4 million. I'm supposed to just jump in and say, well, I just lost 50% of my overall worth. I have to go bankrupt because this one game sucked.
If you trust in the product, if you believe in the product,
I think they would just make money with a smaller release.
Sorry. As a business, to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to put," as a developer, I'm going to put 50% into this that we might not even know will sell, but the hardcore fans want it. Now, if this was like an Astral Chain or if this was a Bayonetta, obviously this wouldn't even be happening because they're not crowdfunding Bayonetta 3. We're not crowdfunding. If Astral Chain 2 comes, it's not going to be through crowdfunding. That's when I throw up like, well, wait a minute, that sold 1 million copies. This is a game that didn't do that well. This is a game that's not big. I mean, y'all sometimes
okay,
like this.
Then no one wants it then.
Okay, well, then some people want it.
And we'll find out no one wants it.
Okay, you fund it yourself.
Who want it will be able to crowdfund, and if they want it, they can get it. If they don't want it, then you don't get it.
We still have to see their goal. We still have to see their goal too.
I swear to God, if it's something massive, I will.
If it's over $100,000,
it's gonna be $1 million.
It has to be a decent price. Like they're not going to come out at $101,000 because that's basically like, come on. I mean, you could have funded this yourself at that price. It's probably going to be at least $1 million.
Yeah,
that's a high goal that I don't think the game would actually hit.
And it's multi-platform too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, PS4 and Switch.
I think it has to be because they have to go for. They have to cast that wide net. They got to give it at least a chance.
Like, is the PS4 crowd going to give a fuck about this game?
I think that's the biggest difficulty with this game. It's really marketing the game because it's one of those games where it's so hard to explain what it is to people and really market the game. And I think Nintendo, I mean, they basically gave up on the game as soon as it came out on the Wii U. And I think this time around, I mean, they'll probably have a cool trailer and have some cool stuff to go along with the crowdfunding campaign. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, they really have to market this game appropriately. Otherwise, it's just going to end up the same way it was.
I hope they put it on the PC as well.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I believe that is the plan.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Like,
what were
the thing is, they have to come out and say we've basically have made things more accessible and we've made it not as convoluted as it was. Because I mean, if you played the demo when it came out on the Wii U, you had to buy like the block, you had to buy dodge, and it was weird because like, shouldn't I have these basic functions? Now, when you played the full game, like you kind of understood why that was. The demo was a very poor representation of what the game actually ended up being. So they have to kind of come out and say we simplified certain aspects of it. We've made this part, more streamlined. And if they can do that and actually get a good marketing campaign behind it, the game has a chance. But right now, it seems like maybe some people are interested because it's, oh, I didn't have a Wii U. This was a former Nintendo exclusive. I'm interested for that sole reason. But is that going to be enough to get the required capital to actually fund this port? That remains to be seen. But, let's see what they present on Monday with the actual campaign starting.
At the end of the day, it boils down to this. I don't give a fuck what anyone does with their money. You want to give $100,000 to a millionaire? Be my guest. You want to give $100,000 to a homeless person? Be my guest. It is your money. You are allowed to do whatever you want with it. My beef is just I don't like big companies doing stuff on Kickstarter. Now, if people decide to support them, good. I'm not going to be upset with them or anything like that. If this Kickstarter makes $100 billion and the game ends up, being the best-selling game of all time, great. I don't care. That's fine. I just don't like the precedent that it sets. I don't like the trend that could come from this for the future of gaming because I think it's dangerous. So that's my whole.
So they should just go back to the old school method of going to people who have tons of money and asking them for it directly anyway, rather than just asking a ton of people for a little.
You pitch a product to a potential investor.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do on Monday, from what I'm hearing.
This is instead of going to a billionaire, they're asking a billion people to pitch in $1.
Okay, they're not asking you to give $1.
So that may be the end goal, though. They may be started to gauge interest so they could take whatever the results are and then pitch that to a publisher at the time. That may be the actual end result.
I mean, clearly nobody's wanted to fund this game. They've
been trying, right?
Publishers
and
then
Epic
more anyway. They don't.
Then Epic comes in, pays them a bunch of money, gets us an exclusive, and pisses off everyone who gave them money in the Kickstarter.
Ooh.
Because we've seen that happen too.
Yeah, we have seen that happen. Maybe that happens here. We don't know.
Yeah, and then how's everyone going to feel when it's like, oh, you can only play it through the Epic launcher on PC?
I don't know the way to play that's going to happen, but
I'm just saying it has happened.
You can only play it if you stream it on Mixer.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna move over to the oh gosh, don't say that. We're gonna move over to the Nintendo financial results. A lot of sales data came out actually, and it turns out the Switch passed the Xbox One actually in shipped units. 52.48 million units. 47.3 million were the regular Switch, and then the Switch Lite had 5.19 million in 3 months. It was end of September, right? It came out same day as Link's Awakening. I think it was September 20th. So that would have been about 3 months then. Yeah, that's pretty quick for a Switch Lite. But that does place it, like I said, above the Xbox One in terms of sales, and it's actually technically a little higher in terms of pacing than the PS4 right now, and it did outsell the Super Nintendo, and the next one would be the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. That's
hold on, John. This sounds like you're saying the Switch is the fastest selling console of all. PS4 was the fastest selling console of all time.
Yeah, it is tracking. Daniel Med posted a chart with all the line graphs and everything, and it showed just above it. We have to see how it does for the rest of this year, because this year is when the PS4 really started jumping even further. But it is. I think it's still a little behind the Wii as well, by a little bit. But the Wii started to, it did a lot in like a short span. Eventually it started leveling off, so the Switch, we'll see about that one. But so far so good for the Switch. Was anyone caught off guard or surprised by roughly 52 million units being sold or shipped, I should say, finishing up this holiday quarter?
People that thought it wasn't going to sell because it only had 32 gigs of storage, I guess they're probably pretty surprised. Whoever those people were back in 2017.
That was me. Screw you.
Hit dogs will holler. I don't know.
No, I didn't think that in 2017.
I wonder how many people. I do wonder how many people have multiple Switch units in their house right now.
I do. I got 4.
I've thought about that.
Got 3 of them.
Yeah.
I've got multiple.
Yeah, because I think I have 6 Switch units right now.
Yeah.
So 3 of them, 2 of them don't work. Well, kind of works. One doesn't have video out to the system itself unless you plug it in.
I'm about to have 4. Pre-order the Animal Crossing.
Okay, I didn't do that. I didn't pre-order Animal Crossing one. All right, just don't try to convince me.
John, do you lay your head on Switches when you go to sleep?
Well, some of them were for projects. One of them had to have a chip ripped off of it to fix the other one. But I have like a bin of parts for them now. But I technically could build enough 6 Switch units. But 2 of them are the Switch Lights that I had, the gray and the blue or turquoise. That's something I wondered, is how many people have bought multiple Switch units, which probably is helping it out quite a bit right now. And they keep doing these special editions. How many people on Twitter just freaked out about that Animal Crossing?
Oh, it was trending.
Yeah, it's up there.
It's like, I don't need it, but
did you see how much detail they put into that?
That is a lot. I will give them credit. That's why I have hope for that Metroid Prime one.
I thought we were just gonna get a little Switch Lite or something, but they gave us a full Switch.
Got the etchings on the back.
The etchings on the back are great. The Switch dock is a different color, and it has the Nook and Nook family on it. Like, that's incredible. I think that's a really good deal, in terms of like an exclusive version. Like, they did a lot of work to it.
Thanks, OJ, for pointing that out. Streamlabs appears to be having an issue. They posted on Twitter saying that they're working with YouTube to resolve an issue with YouTube's API limits. So I am unfortunately not able to log in and read any messages in there currently until they say 3 a.m. my time Eastern. So nice. I will, any of those that are in there now, I will read at the first thing at the beginning of next week. So apologies to anyone who sent a donation through Streamlabs with a message, but we will make sure we read those at the beginning of next week. Super chats are all here though. Should we go over to look at some of the sales data for the different games? Of course, I'm just gonna ask now. All right, because I thought there was supposed to be like a Pokemon boycott or something was supposed to happen with that, right, OJ?
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it worked.
All right, because they reported over 16 million units for Pokemon.
Whoa! Boycott.
It would have been 18 million if it wasn't for the boycott.
That's an awesome boycott.
That actually that fast puts it right in the territory of Sun and Moon and X and Y already.
Yep.
Flat grass game.
That is really, really quick. And I remember when I had talked about this before it came out and there was a lot of frustration around it, I did bring up the question if people would still buy it. That was something I brought up.
There's your answer.
I personally think, just because like some people have said, oh, well, that was just such a small part, and I get that, but I honestly think, based off of what I've seen, I don't have any facts, but I'm almost positive that people said that they were going to boycott the game or not play the game. Let's not even talk about boycott. I'm pretty sure they bought the game, or they got somebody to buy the game, or something happened to where they got their hands on the game and they played the game, because that's way too many sales That's way too many sales. It's not just new people. It's people who are already Pokemon fans that were probably complaining too, and that also went and bought the game. But once again, it's also, the internet also makes things, it can blow things up way more than it actually is.
It's a very small fraction of a percentage that was, I get what you're saying.
Whereas most people are just like, I just want to play a Pokemon game, that I just want to collect Pokemon and fight, and that's it. I don't care if the game, look at the 3DS games. Those ones even look like 10 times worse. So I think maybe that's kind of what happened here with this one.
Okay. Just the power of Pokemon itself is just like ridiculous, basically.
Isn't Eevee still on that list? I believe it is.
Yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Mm-hmm. 11 million.
11.76 million sold. Just under 500,000 for this past quarter, despite Sword and Shield also being right next to it, selling like crazy. But what's interesting is with the Pokemon Home, it's very possible that those actually might jump in might jump in sales again, because people want to buy that to then transfer those Pokemon over as well. Right, Jordan, that would be the idea.
$16 a year is frightening a lot of people.
Okay. So real quick before I move over to some of these other ones, Pokemon Home is $16 a year. Jordan?
It's $1.33 a month, I think is what I saw.
So tell me what's going on in the Pokemon community with this real quick. All right, why is there a big
people are upset because you have to pay for stuff. This has been a service in the past, with bank and all that you had to pay for.
Yes. And
now people are mad that you still have to pay for it.
Okay.
It's been a paid for service in the past. It's still a paid for service.
There's a free version of it though, correct?
There, as far as I know, I've never used bank, and I don't really care about transferring my Pokemon between them. I've never used it. So like, for me, I won't get it because I won't use the benefits of it.
Okay.
But if you want to, it's a paid service that's always been there, and they're bringing it back. It's $1.33 a month.
Yes,
I don't think that's asking too much.
Austin about this, he said it's something that's kind of always been there for the Pokemon community when it comes to paying to use Pokemon Bank. So it's basically a paid service, getting a bit more expensive, but it also seems like he said, more functionality to this whole thing as well. They did put the transfer from bank behind the premium service, is I think what was really setting people off as well. So to get your Pokemon from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, 3DS stuff, basically you'd have to pay the premium for that.
I think they should. I think Game Freak should just go to crowdfunding from now on. And
you know what? Hey, that's not a bad idea. You know what? For the Sinnoh remakes that everyone keeps asking for, let's crowdfund them.
Because obviously, looking at those sales statistics for, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and Sword and Shield, Game Freak's definitely hurting for money right now. So,
PlatinumGames totally makes as much as Games
total sales don't even equal 16.
Hey, to be fair, we already had a Pokemon game that came out of Kickstarter with Temtem. And it might be better than Pokemon. Jordan, you come around to that yet?
It's good. It's not complete. The game's not done yet. I enjoyed the game. I didn't kickstart it. I purchased the game in early access when fully released. But when the game's done, we'll see. But it's not done yet.
Okay. Fair enough. Then we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Because now with the current sales over 20 million, and then we have the Wii U version, that game itself
30 million
is over 30 million technically. That is insane.
Ridiculous.
To me.
That is ridiculous.
I saw that and I'm like, this is crazy, because I thought Smash might be able to catch it. I don't think Smash is going to catch it at all. Even if like the next Mario Kart, you might get to the point where like that Mario Kart keeps selling anyway.
The only way Smash catches it is if like the season 2 Fighters Pass is just like something nuts, like it's just crazy, like
more Fire Emblem characters.
What Fire Emblem? Like if they added Tiki, that would help. But like if they added like if it's like Master Chief and Crash and just all these and like I don't know like 2B or all these different characters that are just adds crazy type of variations, that's the only way. But outside of that, yeah, I don't know if we'll catch it.
Smash Bros, what I said is 17.68 million. Mario Odyssey 16.59 million. Breath of the Wild 16.34 million. We just talked about Pokemon. Splatoon 2 coming up on 10 million. It's at 9.81 million. Mario Party, which
disgusting
9.12 million. I can't believe that.
That's a lot of people that can't really play together online.
Disgusting.
They won't do anything with that game.
Standards.
It blows my mind. They won't do anything with that game. I don't know why. Actually, I do know why, because Super
I'd
Mario
crowdfund
Party
multiplayer freaking
that man. Another Super Mario Party better not come out this year. Okay, we need some. Oh no, that's been their plan this whole time. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 5.85 million, and then the big one here to round out that list, Luigi's Mansion 3, 5.37 million. Hey, yeah, that's good. That's good to see that. That's actually every Luigi's Mansion that's released pretty much has been like trending upwards. So it actually keeps selling better and better every release. So it's becoming more and more of a strong IP for Nintendo, like overall. And I was happy to see that because that game is awesome. So it's good to see that. But I'm gonna point out a disappointing bit here. Okay, I am actually disappointed in the Mario Maker 2 sales.
Yeah, because it's less than New Super Mario Bros.
It's less than New Super. I don't know if it's the simplicity. Like you said, you mentioned that, OJ, right? The simplicity of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. They go in, they just want Mario, right?
Mario Kart or Mario Maker is too much work, bro. Like it's just like it's too much work. It's just like you've got to sit there, you've got to play levels, you got to make the levels, you got to download them. Like you play, then you stop. People make trolley ass levels.
Yeah, there's even more work if you're
like,
looking for a level because you want to play a good level. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, like you're just playing a bunch of hack weirdo looking things. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like when I play like New Super Mario Bros, it's just like it's just simple. You're just jumping and running. That was the whole point of New Super Mario. It's like old school classic. Mario never was this crazy hack level type. That was never what. Yeah. That's what when they brought back New Super Mario, like the 2D Mario, that it was just supposed to get back to the classic, right? I mean, yeah, it can be a little bit difficult later. It wasn't about all that. I get it for those who like that. But after playing both and like just kind of getting into it, I'm just like, I don't want to spend the time to be sitting there and playing through and looking for people's levels. It's just too much. And like, and also if you talk about kids, yeah, I put that in front of my daughter. She wants nothing to do with Mario Maker, like nothing to do with that game. Whereas kids, like they, so that's also another thing too. You got to factor that in.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, if I think from my perspective, I bought it on the Wii U and I thought it was really cool. I think lots of us did. But when they announced it for the Switch, I just kind of felt like there's nothing really here that's significantly different than the first one to warrant me buying the game. And I think a lot of people probably went down that path.
Yeah. Then we did have Astral Chain that hit 1 million and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 also hit 1 million, Sean. There you go. Ultimate Alliance 3.
I was happy about that. Yeah. I did like that game.
Astral Chain did hit 1 million though. 1.03 million. So that is good for Astral Chain. Good to see it's a 1 million unit seller. Although PlatinumGames, I think, already said that they were happy with the sales for it anyway. So it was like above expectations. So
imagine if they would have crowdfunded
it. They did. Nintendo covered
it. They went there. They brought in a laptop that had Kickstarter, and just Nintendo just bought all the Kickstarter slots for them. Oh man. Yeah, so overall pretty good. Ring Fit Adventure was also over 2 million units. That's pretty good.
That's with like supply constraints in Japan too, I believe.
Oh yeah, they keep pointing that out. They keep apologizing for that. They had to put out a whole thing in like Nintendo Japan websites like, we're sorry, we did not.
They should kickstart production of some more.
It's true.
They ran out, someone's got to fund them.
And then Fire Emblem Three Houses had its sales numbers updated at 2.58 million. So
yay.
Pretty good for Fire Emblem.
New DLC's coming out soon too.
There you go. Overall, pretty good. I would say quarter for Nintendo. And like I said, we'll see what they have for this year with their holiday titles. So exciting stuff there. And then we have any Discord questions left, Evan, over there?
Got a couple. If or when the N64 Mini gets announced or N64 games come to the Switch online service, do you think games from Rare will be included?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yeah. Oh man.
I beat you to it in my
I was pausing for dramatic effect. Yes, and I'm gonna say it right here, right now. All right, you ready for this? I think instead of Star Fox 2 being on the front like the Super Nintendo, of course, had, I think GoldenEye's on the front.
Ew.
No.
GoldenEye aged like fucking ass.
GoldenEye's on the front.
GoldenEye aged worse than a white woman that's a meth head. Like, come on, dude.
that is an odd,
Very specific.
Seems like you have experience with that.
I've seen them.
Breaking Bad up in here.
I've seen them. GoldenEye was a great game for its time frame, but no, like go back and play it now, and it's like it's hard, man. It is.
Did you play Perfect Dark on the Xbox One or the 360 recently?
Yeah.
Dude, that is solid. That is really.
But you're
solid.
not getting that. You're not getting.
I don't know what I'm getting. Maybe
You're getting a straight up N64. Now, I would love the N64 because I have a controller for the Nintendo Switch that's an N64 controller.
Yeah,
but it's
is it the Brawler one?
the Brawler, yeah. And it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? Like, I'm not gonna play anything. I can't play 64 games on this system right now legally.
Okay, well then maybe if they're not gonna put Golden on the front, it'd probably just be Mario or it'd be Banjo.
I think like Banjo.
I think they will work that out though. I think the rare games will be on there.
See, no, the problem with GoldenEye is it's not just an issue with Rare.
Wait, did I say will? I mean, if it would,
it's also the license holder of the movie. So there's three companies involved. It's not just Nintendo saying to Microsoft, "Hey, can we have this?" It's also the IP owners of the Bond license where they could say, "No, you're not getting that." So Perfect Dark, I would say, is a better chance of GoldenEye.
What's Daniel Craig doing? Get him on.
Who cares about Daniel Craig?
About to be in a 25th Bond movie.
Maybe he's cheaper than Pierce. I don't know. It's okay. Yeah, Perfect Dark. Sure, you put that on there. Oh, wait a minute. That means that it would be a mature rated system.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Perfect Dark is worth it.
It should.
I think I'm gonna make.
on there.
I think I'm gonna make a video explaining why there won't be a Nintendo 64 Classic.
Do it.
Okay, I like
Break
that.
everyone's heart.
I like that.
Just want to keep it real with some facts here.
Then talk about the Game Boy Classic.
You're against it. With the analog pocket?
Well, that's coming, the analog pocket. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I want to see that video, MVG, by the way. That'd be good. Let me go through some of the super chats here. We have Casey Tech says MVG Go Chiefs also was there.
Go Chiefs.
And Warcraft 3 Reforged talk got here late. No, because Max would have talked about it because he played it and did a review on it. And well, to be honest, Blizzard's been kind of depressing recently. So yeah, I actually wasn't a big Warcraft 3 fan back in the day, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you what they messed up. Although apparently it was a lot. So Brian says Animal Crossing Switch confirmed Switch Pro. There we go. See? Right there.
Heard it here first.
It never ends.
What happened? What am I missing? I'm missing something.
I
thought that was just like, okay.
Black hole of logic, huh?
Okay. The Icarus says, do you think the main reason EA doesn't want to make games for Switch is because they don't want to compete with Nintendo's first-party titles? EA is a company that hates competition after all.
No.
I think they're just
the same
idiots.
reason that it was a business decision that went bad, and they're salty.
I think there's a little thing called frostbite that needs to be addressed before they can consider moving things to the Switch in any fashion that's actually worth doing.
Yeah, that's a pretty big reason.
There's Origin on Wii U also. They have no real reason to want to make this
Frostbite's pretty.
stride.
It's just not stable.
Pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They made Fallen Order on Unreal.
Yeah.
Well, I think some people are even talking about like legacy stuff, right? Like they did a lot of their stuff on Unreal Engine 3, so that'd even be even somewhat of an issue on Switch as well, right? Like Mass Effect, for example.
Prices that's even running on Wii U.
Yeah, well, Switch doesn't, I guess, natively support Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I remember Rocket League had to do a bunch of stuff to make that work.
Yeah,
you can do it, and I think Mortal Kombat's like a heavily modded Unreal Engine 3, right? So, I mean, it can be done, but it's just the fact that, one, business-wise, they just didn't plan for it. They didn't think it was going to sell. They didn't think it was going to be good. They had the issues like Shadowfox was saying with Wii U, and on top of that, they have certain practices and they have certain consumers that they want to target, and they don't think Nintendo's part of that.
Oh, by the way, nobody buy FIFA on the Switch anymore. That is straight garbage.
Yeah.
Legacy, baby.
Oh man,
don't buy it. But I mean, I think at the same time too, when you look at like EA, it's like they have their customers that they want to target, and they want to they want to market to and all that, and that's fine. Like if you want EA games, you're gonna have to go somewhere else to get it.
I will tell you, you could see Apex Legends on the Switch.
There might be something
that wouldn't shock me. I'll say that.
They might throw them a bone every now and then. There might be something else too. Maybe they bring back something else that's like old. Maybe like a Dead Space or something comes back on the Switch. I don't know.
See Nelly. Oh, this is a good one for, I'm gonna say MVG and Shadowfox here. There was an early Switch patent leak that showed a dock that had its own CPU and memory and could boost the performance of the Switch Dock Pro. I feel like that was another thing that people alluded to like years ago for this thing.
People have been talking about this supplemental computing.
I don't know how they would make that work through the port that's on the Switch now.
No, it's not possible.
No, it'd be a different dock.
How would that? I don't know how that'd work. Yeah.
So what essentially what happened is it would function as either an eGPU or it will basically be switch plus switch. So there will be a switch SoC with the GPU built into a dock, and all you're doing is connecting your mobile switch into the dock, and it resumes.
Yeah, but then that dock would be expensive, I assume, then, because it's it has some serious technology. Console. Yeah, it's like they're at a point where they're just building another console and selling a whole other one. DN says they said no Switch Pro or new Switch hardware this year because it won't be called the Switch. Read between the lines, there will be new hardware. They called a handheld a Switch and it doesn't switch, so they're sticking with that name. Watch them do something crazy and release another 3DS or something.
3DS Switch.
3DS showed up at E3 again. It's gonna be the 10th or the 11th E3 if it stays alive again.
Man. Mike said, should I get an Animal Crossing Switch or wait for a Switch Pro in your all's opinion?
Get an Animal Crossing Switch.
Yeah, wait for Switch Pro.
Get an Animal Crossing Switch Pro.
It
confirms it.
Oh, they have a pre-revision Switch. Been thinking about upgrading anyway. Honestly, the Switch now that you can buy with a better battery life is noticeably better, I will say.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's a little bit different as far as the lighting screen though. I think
it's like warmer. It's weird. Yeah. It's like the older ones are cooler and the newer ones are warmer just based on the screens that they've pulled out of the bins basically right off the line. So T-Joe says, what will they do with those exo screens then? The one we're talking about. I still think that had something with either R&D or we talked about them possibly working on a Switch successor already. So because Sharp talked to them and they're not using them now. So maybe they're just collecting them. And when the technology is cheap enough, then it's time to go. So, although I think it would be cool if Nintendo did something with high refresh rate in like a handheld system. I think that could be cool because they would call it something weird like HD Rumble. They call it like True Vision or something crazy. They'd market it. That would be really neat.
So you're saying that's coming out this year?
Well, if you
here we go.
What? Well, if you go up to like a it's hard to describe. That's the problem. Like this in front of me is a 144 hertz display. It's so hard to explain how that looks to somebody until they use it, until they move the mouse around or play a game on it. That would be neat, though. I think that'd be cool if Nintendo tried something like that in a handheld. Because like the Razer phones do that, the newer ones, and some other phones, I think, do 90 hertz displays now as well. That would be cool. I would like to see that, but it's up to Nintendo and their marketing. And if they were even telling the truth, who knows? Doctor says, all right, hear me out. A Superman game in the style of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And by the way, when is John going to do a Tech Wave shirtless? It's a good question. I don't know. How do you the one tomorrow is just going to be full top down camera? You don't know.
Top off camera? What?
No, because we're moving everything. I can't do multiple camera angles right now because everything's getting broken down. So I'm building that Game Boy Advance, the ultimate Game Boy Advance, by the way.
Why? Evan can't stand there just with a phone filming?
I'm going to be in PA.
No. He's going to be, No, this is still at my house that I'm doing that, whereas the office isn't ready for it. The office Tech Wave, by the way, is going to be legit. It's going to be nice. But it's going to be the ultimate Game Boy, putting a USB-C in there, MVG, putting a USB Type-C port in there to charge, all kinds of stuff. Got the new LCDs that just came out. Big speaker. They made new speakers for it, so it's really loud.
Right on.
Nice.
I'm excited for it. It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be intense.
And it's the good Game Boy Advance. It's the one that's like wide. So.
Yep.
You're doing this tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna build it out tomorrow and film it, but it's gonna be mostly a top-down thing where you just kind of come along for the ride as I try not to burn anything with a soldering iron.
So you want to take me for a ride?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Although it's like 3 wires, so it's not like that N64 Ultra HDMI thing. So
Yeah, right.
you still need to do that, MVG, by the way.
I do, but they're really hard to find right now.
Are they?
Those Ultra HDMIs, yeah.
What about the Dreamcast? Is Dreamcast getting any easier?
I think you can get those pretty cheap.
Okay.
They're still around, but the N64 ones you can't get them at the moment.
You know that PS1 HDMI one's coming soon, right?
Yeah,
I'm on that.
that's gonna be good.
Who styles MVG's hair?
Oh, are you? Hey, we had that picture of you from before, right, where we did like the decade challenge.
Yeah,
and you had hair. You had hair.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, that was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Who styles my hair every week, man? I just buzz it myself. Costs me nothing.
There you go.
Way to do it, man.
Doctor says, imagine PS5 looking like the Game Sphere from South Park.
No, what?
Become a Game Sphere, man.
The Game Sphere is also from Drake and Josh.
Oh,
it's spherical.
What the hell are you?
I don't know.
About?
I don't like. I do know that. Oh man. Elon says, "What about the patent for the supplemental compute device came up again? Processing unit for Switch. President's comment about always looking for new ways to enjoy game experience. Well, we just mentioned that before. It's probably a very expensive thing for them to try to do and figure out in the first place, but who knows with Nintendo, I guess." Rebecca says, Metroid Prime remake for Switch. Prime Trilogy, hopefully. Max says, will Mega Man ZX Collection be bad or not be bad or be bad? I need hope. I think it's going to be good. I do. I think they delayed it because they want it to be good. And the Mega Man Zero games are very, very good. I wasn't as, I guess, fond of the DS game, but I did like the Mega Man 0, 1 through 4. I like those a lot. So I think it's worth
the same game over and over again.
I think they crowdfunded that, actually. That one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I heard that's the way to go.
I'm not gonna say that word on camera or on here. All right. Thoughts on Boss Baby for the next?
Oh, is that the cat?
No, it's a username that I probably shouldn't say. I'm just gonna say
what?
I'm gonna say K. Let's say K. Thoughts on Boss Baby for the next Smash DLC?
What the hell's Boss Baby?
It's a movie. It's a movie where a baby becomes a boss.
They're manufacturing how the stork works.
Voiced by Alec Baldwin.
Skylar says, any of you going to play Phantasy Star 2? I am. It is.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I got the VCR ready to go. Let's go, man. I'm psyched about PSO2.
Yeah.
I'm signed up, ready to go, baby.
Yep. So I'm excited. That's starting this week. You can preload on the 3rd. Already got it covered. 7th is when you can start playing. So they already have times and everything up and dates. So exciting stuff. I'm ready. I still can't believe it was Microsoft that brought it over. But
I know.
Yeah. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, that they had a website up for like 5 years for like the English version coming soon. It's like, all right. Suppa Sandwich says, unpopular opinion. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 13. You know what? I liked Final Fantasy 13 as well. There you go. I said it.
It was a pretty good movie. I agree.
Once you get to chapter 13, once you get 25 hours in, it turns into a pretty good game.
I love games like that.
Oh man. Rip Warcraft 3, that's from Shalaris. Psychon 10 says, why is Game Freak moving near Nintendo Tokyo? Anyone get an answer for that one? I know Nintendo said that they were trying to take their studios and consolidating and trying to basically have all their offices be more efficient together because they're not. I guess they said it was because they don't have a handheld necessarily in a console division anymore. They're all just kind of working together. So
that's interesting though, because Game Freak is independent. They're technically a third party. Mm-hmm. Their games are second party, but they're technically a third party.
Yeah, that's why they're
interesting.
Maybe they'll make another game like Town. Oh, boy.
They didn't have to kickstart that one.
They should have. It might have been better.
They should have. Then they would have known that me and 4 other people would have bought it.
Hey man, I bought that physical.
Oh no!
I would be
why?
number 4.
Dude, it's going to be one of those hidden gems in about 5 years from
Leave
now.
it sealed. It's not worth opening.
It'll be like $700 in 10 years.
It probably will be. It went on the list. It's like only 5 of these sold. Who has them in the world?
Yeah.
Me, I have all 5.
Like Wonderful 101.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. You know what? I want you to play that game, actually, NVG, and then I want you to message me 2 hours later and tell me what you think of the game.
I mean, apparently, I'm playing terrible games like Contra, so I'm going to give this one a go as well. So.
Tell me about how that first battle in Town lasted 2 hours for no reason. Okay.
A 2-hour battle.
It's because a lot of it's RNG related, and it's just really annoying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, not gonna say that comment. RGT85 sounds like he's, I'm gonna say, befriending a cat.
Oh no.
Then we have Cedric saying, this hand of mine is burning red. Its loud roar tells me to grasp victory. Here I go, erupting, burning finger. That's from Master Asia.
What did you just say?
Hold on, that's the RGT comment with the cat.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Suppa Sandwich says dev doesn't equal publisher. OJ is exactly right. There you go.
Okay, that wasn't the argument. That wasn't the argument, though. But that's fine.
Don't get back into this fringe.
Okay, I'm not. I'm just saying that wasn't the problem. I clearly understood that part of it.
Don't make this the reason we have our box.
You live in your life, so my argument's
Did you
right.
just say you live in your life?
That's how dumb it sounds. I know the argument. That wasn't the argument.
Will McConnell says, to be fair, with the 300,000 copies, that's all Wii U owners, including me. Hey, the Wii U sold almost as much as the Vita. It was there. You know, it was right there. I mean, that's even for, like, if you look at Mario Kart, I mean, there's a lot of people bought that. But then you look at, it had to have been the marketing. Like you said, Nate, that demo wasn't great for it. So there had to have been a marketing issue, because a lot of those games sold for the install size fairly well in the Wii U.
To be fair, too, the Wii U, for all its faults, it had a flooded launch lineup. And going all the way through, like, the first year, whatever, 26 games or something like that at launch. And then Wonderful 101 was supposed to be one of them, but it got delayed like 6 months or something.
It had it had a lot of third-party support at launch too, right?
Yeah. M-rated games as well. So.
Oh, he said sure. Hey, EA was there, right? EA was there. They had
with Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Trilogy came out 2 weeks later on the PS3 and 360.
I remember
Switch hasn't gotten.
Yes, a Madden with less features.
I remember I went to the store when that came out.
Best version of Call of Duty Black
Mass
Ops
Effect
2.
Trilogy, and like it was right next to it on like the shelf, and I was like, well, why would I buy that? Because I got
you
it.
Get the trilogy for like $30, and Mass Effect 3 on Wii U was $60.
I was like, what?
But I still want to try it because I guess it used the touchscreen at some point. So
I played and beat it on the Wii U. I played and beat it multiple times.
Same.
It's good. It's good. It's just stupid with the price.
It's probably still $60 right now if you can find it.
This is Lucas says Johnny from EA Dice and Battlefield 5 joins Retro Studios as art director.
Interesting.
Whoa,
Johnny!
Yeah.
Oh, all right,
can't
all right.
believe it.
Interesting.
It's ridiculous.
Isn't it though, Fringe?
So crazy.
Evan says, would direct democracy and free market economics not support products being funded directly by the consumers in the market that demand them? Yeah, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're allowed to think what you want. I'm allowed to think what I want.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
No, you're not.
Brad,
You can't have your own train of thought. Not in this day and age.
Brad says if funding is a pre-order, then I see the validity. You're asking for pre-orders up front, basically, and
yeah. You're asking for pre-orders with very limited knowledge of what is actually going on.
Just like regular pre-order.
Yeah, we'll be here a while. We still have to talk about Stadia for at least a few minutes before he comes out.
It exists, and even the people who have it don't like it. Thanks for
Why the hell are we going to talk about
I was
Stadia?
right.
No one uses it. It has
It's
no
not in the
games.
title, John. You didn't put Stadia in the title.
You're tricking everyone.
I thought I did. Did I not? I
Why
didn't.
don't we ask the chat? Does anyone want to hear about Stadia this week?
I thought it was funny because
Let the consumers in the chat decide.
Should we kickstart us talking later
I
about
was about to say that.
for $10 from
Project
each of you? For
xCloud,
only $10 more from each of you, we'll stay another 30 minutes and talk about Stadia. But that's only if you want to fund.
Everyone's saying no.
Yeah, that's fine. It's Stadia. Yeah, it was funny because the Reddit became self-aware recently, and they were like, "Wait a minute, Stadia's not very good."
No, but can I mention this though? Did you hear what Stadia said? Like what they said?
Yes,
Were you guys
no,
over
yeah.
that? Just mention that because that's pretty funny. Go ahead and say that, John.
They said it's up to the publishers to decide when the games like show up on Stadia and like get announced and all of this, and like they need to. It's because they're not being aggressive with any of it. And xCloud keeps dropping game after game because I'm on it with my phone for xCloud. They have like 80 something games on there, and one of the games is Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But don't forget that the publishers are different from the devs. Can't forget that. Don't forget that.
They should have just crowdfunded Stadia. Google definitely.
Right on back.
Honestly, at
They
this point,
did. They did.
They don't have a lot of money.
They charged me $130 for this thing.
They did actually kind of crowdfund. They did charge you up front.
They did. They charged me 3 months before the thing came out.
I mean, and Google has PlatinumGames probably has just as much money as Google. I mean, they're such a big company, and look at what they're doing.
I still want to know
OJ's
how
damage
much.
control.
I still want to know how much the development units were for that thing. Had to buy
a lot of money. That thing had to have been like massive amounts of money. The way they were talking about that. Pfft, good lord. It's
You got a Xeon at your desk just spinning.
what a shame that is. Stadia. It's gonna and the thing is once xCloud goes browser based and then like you can play it on your browser and then it hits their Xbox, it's over. Stadia is gonna get run over. Ugh.
yikes.
Dude, if you like, it's insane how many games they've just thrown on what is a free closed beta for all their first party stuff's there, and they keep getting third party game after third party game, and they run off of Xbox Ones at their data centers.
It'd be fine if they could actually get updated versions of games like Borderlands 3 and not an old version of it.
That's the other thing. Yeah, it's not even like it's the old version.
Well, hey, at least the Atari VCS can run Borderlands 2 at 20 frames a second.
That's crazy. Can I play it at the new Atari hotels?
Probably.
I just liked that they fired it up in sandbox mode and they were like, look at how amazing this is. And it was like the Windows login screen. You're like, okay.
Like, what the
He was searching for that for like a solid 10 minutes with a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, man. Evan's
See,
girlfriend
kids,
just
this
says,
is what cigarettes do to you.
Not gonna read the rest of that because
and
it's a lot of super chats to get me in trouble.
No,
but-
go ahead, read it.
For that super chat,
not a bad word.
yeah, but for that super chat with the guy that has all the sock accounts, he does walk a fine line, and I'm probably going to start banning all of them regardless. So just so you're fully aware.
Oh man,
Do it.
Jog says if people want to invest on Kickstarter, it's up to them. Big or small company doesn't matter.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm still allowed to say it's stupid as you're allowed to give your money to it. Okay, there's no problem. It's called an opinion. All right, everyone got so like offended by that. Relax. Jesus.
Shut up, friend.
Shut up, Nathan. Go to bed with your old boomer ass already.
Since Blurpy says
You're older than me.
What's that even mean?
And you're older than me.
Blurpy says since there is no Switch Pro coming, should I pre-order the Animal Crossing Switch?
Oh my god.
Ask that?
I feel like that's the third time that's been asked tonight.
The Animal Crossing one looks pretty good for Animal Crossing fans. Absolutely.
Just
I like
that's your Switch Pro.
I like the work they put into that dock too. The dock actually looks
Right?
in that. So
That
I like
surprised me. I like usually you only see like the Pokemon one, like there's a cool like Eevee and Pikachu on it, and like some other ones. There's some like light designs, but like that's a different colored dock from Nintendo themselves. So
Oh,
cool.
supplemental computing device then? Maybe.
this confirms the Switch 3.0. They've done it, guys. They've skipped the Pro, and now it's the XL Pro 2.4.
Chris says Chick-fil-A pizza and Metal Warriors, baby. Nice. David says my augury on a Joy-Con told me that we are getting a Metal Metroid 4 Switch.
Getting a what?
Well, remember the investors were saying that the Switch was going to end up getting a metal body.
The magnesium body?
That's right, the magnesium. Yeah, that was during that supply line. The Digitimes ran that with the supply line that they found that. And they talked about a custom CPU that was being worked on, our new CPU. It's hard to, I mean, again, that could just be R&D stuff that they're like, hey, we need X amount of these to test in the lab, basically. And maybe they try to make it look more premium just through looks. I don't know. Unfortunately, it's not enough to really go on for much longer than mild speculation for the most part.
Yep.
It could even be for something inside the system you never see. Like it could be for part of the structure inside. Who knows? Mega Nerd says, I need Nintendo to make a new themed first party Pro Controller like the Splatoon 2, Xeno 2, and Smash Ultimate 1. They haven't really touched the Pro Controller recently. It's been a while.
Yeah, give us a new one.
Yeah, they should do that. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Oh,
Xenoblade Chronicles.
I was about to say Xenoblade. Yeah,
another one for Xeno.
That'd be cool. Punch 180 says top 10 most sold console from most to least according to Wikipedia: PS2, PS4, PS1, Wii, PS3, 360, Nintendo console, Nintendo Switch, Super Nintendo, Xbox One. Will Microsoft finally beat Sony in console sales next gen? I'm gonna go with no. They don't care much about their console sales as Sony or Nintendo does right now.
I will be the one to say yes.
Interesting.
I mean,
okay, you're saying
they barely ever made a profit on.
You're saying that because of the pricing, Nate, of their other system that they're going to show up with?
Pricing, I think Microsoft's going to be very aggressive going into the next gen. I think they're going to sway a lot of support from developers that people aren't expecting. I think Microsoft's going to have one hell of a generation with the Series X.
Interesting. Okay.
Did the PlayStation 3 come back and outsell the Xbox 360?
It did right at the end.
Right at the end, yeah.
Yeah. Basically, when Microsoft just stopped really caring with it, they eventually passed them. But it's almost margin of error, I think. But it did technically pass it. Yeah. Matthew Hammond said, "Would you crowdfund Pokemon Stadium Switch?" No, I would crowdfund Pokemon Snap 2.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't.
That's more egregious because the Pokemon.
Yeah, I would not. I would not do that. I'll hold my stance. If Game Freak was like, "Hey, you want Snap 2? We'll go Kickstart it." No, I'm not.
I mean, they wasted money on Town. They could have done Pokemon Snap 2 instead.
They could have.
They easily could have. They could have done it since the Wii U, but no, still yet. Here we are.
That would have been great on the Wii. That would have been.
It is perfect for it. Now we have the Switch, even better. Nope.
Yeah. Wii U would have been like the dual screen with the camera. I mean,
it would have worked great.
Everything built in for it, but
I feel like they should just turn it into some AR game, and it's probably, I think the excuse is what I've heard because Pokemon Go, you can just have the AR pictures of the Pokemon in the world.
I still want a new.
It's just lame. Yeah, I want a whole new game.
Snap was awesome though. You see all the Pokemon just like in their own little like environment, their habitat. Then you'd have to kick the Magikarp across the stage to turn him into a Gyarados for some weird reason.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Yeah, the what was it, the Mankey would just kick the thing straight across.
I'll take a full on another game. But if they did a crowdfunding for it, I'd be against it. Because that's stupid.
Chris says, Kogi the Frog sequel?
Oh God.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. What was that?
All right.
Help me out here.
All right, so Koki was a game that was coming out to the Wii U, and I was kind of,
I know what this is.
I was kind of not working with Nintendo enthusiasts as much. Brett was starting to do stuff, and the developer of Koki wanted Brett to make him a game trailer, and so Brett made him a trailer, and he watermarked it. Because I told him to do that. And I was like, well, whenever he likes it, then, and he pays you, just take the watermark away. And the developer refused to pay for it without having the watermark removed. And I was like, no, tell him to fuck off. Like that's not how this works. You're of a big website. Like, no, don't do it. And so it became this whole thing. And I was like, all right, well, let me talk to him. So I talked to him and I was like, look, dude, he'll do the trailer. The trailer is done. If you want the trailer, just pay him the amount of money that you agreed upon, and then he'll give you the unwatermarked version. I don't understand what the problem is. And he just refused to do it. So I was like, all right, well, I tried. And then the developer started saying that I was racist against
Brazilian people, because it became this whole huge thing. And then he uploaded the trailer with the watermark on his YouTube channel for this Wii U game, and the game was absolute shit. It looked like a Flash game, but like Brett tried to make it look as good as possible, and like it was crazy. It was absolutely bizarre. It was so bizarre.
Wow. Okay. So sequel though.
I mean, as long as it's crowdfunded, I'm in.
Crowdfunded. I need the special edition with the Nintendo Enthusiast watermark on it. Blurpy says, take it off. All right. Brad says,
Take it off.
Brad says, if you like Battle Network, check out One Step from Eden coming to Steam and Switch next month. All right. One Step from Eden.
If it's crowdfunded, I'll check it out.
Zaire Miller says, with Microsoft bringing Phantasy Star back, what do you think of the idea of Microsoft bringing the Persona games to other platforms like Kingdom Hearts?
Microsoft bringing Kingdom Hearts?
Persona, because they have like the Kingdom Hearts games already showing up, don't they? In Game Pass, Xbox does. They're talking about Persona, like bringing Persona games, I think, to like
They'll have to pay Sony.
That'd be some money, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that situation's different because Persona doesn't have any. There's no exclusivity deal with anything outside of mainline Persona. If Microsoft wanted Persona 5 Scramble or Persona Q or something like that, yeah, no problem. Or they even got a Persona game, fighting game on the 360, the Arena game. So that's fine. But the issue is that Sony has an exclusivity deal with the mainline Persona, as in mainline Persona, for what we know for right now, is only on PlayStation. So, and that includes previous Persona games, as in like Persona 1, 2, 3, those games too. So,
like about the dancing,
can just do.
Oh, the dancing game, the dancing one.
I think the dancing games could come to other platforms. I just don't think it's going to, but I think they could. I don't know if there's an exclusivity deal with those two games, but any other Persona game that Microsoft would want, that's fine. Like Scramble, if they wanted to fund Scramble to come over, that's fine. But
what I can actually see some names from Streamlabs, because you can't sign to Streamlabs, but VCIPZ donated, Matthew Hammond, and then Ian. I'll read the messages, like I said, next week when I can apparently sign into Streamlabs. That's great. The Icarus says, Hypercharged Unboxed, closest game to Halo on the Switch, pretty good FPS game. I actually have been playing that a little bit. I'm going to play it a little more this week and probably talk about it next week on the podcast and maybe a video on it. But the bits that I did play, it is actually pretty fun. Parts that I were playing was kind of like a tower defense almost, but it does appear to have PvP and everything online as well.
I've heard about that game. Everyone's been telling me you should check this game out, and then I saw the pretty cool. I think I might check it out too.
Yep. I've actually been talking to them a bit on Twitter, so I'm gonna have something with that going on, and I'm pretty excited because I was looking for another first-person shooter on the Switch. And then Chris says if crowdfund a Metal Warriors, crowdfund a Metal Warriors port for the Switch. Jordan, get on that.
You can spend your own money. I don't care what you guys do with your money. Damn.
Matthew Hammond says, with crowdfunding for Pokemon Snap Switch included limited edition box set of Pokemon cards that were foil wrapped. Jordan, did you hear that?
I don't care. I wouldn't fund it. I'm not funding multimillionaires, all right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Blurpy says predictions when the next direct will be.
I don't know.
It's gotta be
sometime this year.
Yesterday.
February 6th. February 6th.
Yesterday.
February 6th. You say that pretty confidently.
No.
That's a little confident there.
I'm sorry. February 6th.
I will say there will be another Nintendo Direct for March 31st.
I think it's got to be.
I think the next one's gonna happen before December 31st, 2020. We're definitely gonna get one before then.
Going 2020, not 2021. I'd go 2021 to be safe.
Ooh, you know what?
I don't even know if we have Nate comment, because then, okay, Nate, do you want to comment?
Is he even alive?
Do you want to comment on this when the next direct might be?
No.
February 6th.
It's this week then. All right, good. MVG, you have any thoughts?
I would not bet on this week if I were betting.
I think it's coming out on February the 32nd.
Okay. So Nate says not this week.
I have no idea, man. Honestly,
everyone out there.
If Sean wants to eat his plan again, I mean,
There you go.
You with your inside information and all that crap.
The bet is 2 bags of raisins.
Oh, Jesus.
and a wonderful 101 Kickstarter. You got to fund it.
Ew, hell no.
And I think that might have been it. Let me just double check here. Evan, are we done with Discord questions? Do we have any more?
Just the one. How likely is it that the Xbox and PlayStation are bringing games to PC as well, just to kind of build up their install base, I guess is what this guy's trying to say.
Oh, Xbox is absolutely bringing games to PC. Absolutely. But I'm going to be very interested when that Horizon Zero Dawn gets unveiled for Steam PC. That'll be it. I'm going to be curious how much they charge for, because that'll tell me if that's a release where they're trying to almost market the PlayStation brand to PC gamers as well.
Because you think they're also doing it to try to pad the game's stats when they announce like, oh, this game did this well, because it also
I think if Horizon Zero Dawn shows up on Steam and it's like $20, I think that's a way for them to get PC gamers looking at that franchise and the PlayStation brand when Horizon Zero Dawn 2 gets announced. So
yeah, it's to raise brand awareness and also just to get some supplemental income from a game that's now 4 years old.
Dude, they sell that game for like $6 now.
Yeah, so if they can charge you $20 on Steam, they'll gladly take that extra revenue.
Yeah,
just kickstart it.
Mark my words.
I'm gonna kickstart you for.
There may be a Project X Cloud launcher on all kind of consoles going forward.
Well, rumor has it, according to Nate,
our boxing match.
According to Nate,
he has a video.
What did I do?
You got a video?
The Xbox, Nintendo, the Microsoft Nintendo relationship with with the Xbox app.
It'll be a year old sometime this month.
Oh man!
Wow!
And it's still as true then as it is now.
Oh, some foreshadowing.
You tell them.
I like it.
One-sided relationship.
I mean, Microsoft's getting that money, man. They're getting that money.
And Nintendo's not giving them games.
Yeah. They gave them their first 1 million unit seller in Japan. I'll give them that. Minecraft on the Switch. It's interesting. I guess that's everything then, since no one liked to talk about. Well, we talked about Stadia long enough, I guess, for people to laugh about it.
We gave it enough time.
Okay, fine.
We put about as much effort in that as Google put into Stadia. So.
Ooh, man.
Oh, sorry. That's too far?
I mean,
that's the limit right there, Buster.
Didn't we know it was coming? This stream died like 3 times while we were.
Oh no! I just realized that's a good point. Oh man, we'll finish up here. Go over. Oh, does anyone have any? Was anyone on that we could rate or anything? OJ or Sean or anybody? We can do that again tonight if you guys have anyone in mind. It's a little later, so I know some people might not be streaming, but
Nintendo Cade is live.
There you go.
He's playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Splatoon 2.
There you go. Let's go around here and then we can drop that link in the chat for anyone who wants to go say hi there. I'll start with our guest, Shadow Fox. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate that. Where can the good people find you?
You can find me Breaking Souls. Otherwise, you can find me on YouTube at Shadow Fox Infinite, and you'll see a lot of videos going forward. I'll be streaming probably Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I still haven't unlocked Cosmos yet, so that'll be fun to watch me finally do it at some point. Otherwise, I'll just be frustrated. And other than that, look out for my Infernal thought process videos, and I'll definitely be doing one on what we talked about earlier, being in this podcast pretty soon. So look out for that.
Cool. That sounds good. Oh, and then Boz says...
Well, you gotta buy it a lot more than $5 for that to happen, bud.
I want to start a Kickstarter to kick this over here, dude.
What in the world? She really?
It's gonna be to get me off this podcast. It's gonna cost me about 101,000 Kickstarter to my PayPal.
Jordan, where can they find you?
Don't look for me. Thanks for 30,000 subs. I'm just Jordan Fringe. You can find it that way. God damn.
How about you get the silver-haired guy off the podcast? He has takes that I don't agree with.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Can we I'll leave it there. It's fine. I was making a joke. I'll leave it there.
Do it.
Sean.
Do it.
Sean.
You can find me on RGT85. I actually have a hold on.
I dropped the link in the
Okay, cool. I actually have a fun video going up to telling the complete story about something that a lot of people don't seem to know about. It's a canceled DS game that was actually very popular when it was first talked about, and then it seems like the truth never came out. So I unveiled the truth about the game.
Is it all right? Wait, hold on.
Halo?
Is the title gonna say the truth?
No, I don't think it might. I still haven't decided on it yet.
I mean, to be fair, the thumbnail of you in Nate's video with that title worked out pretty well for him.
That's what we're
Even
going.
my
with.
idea. All you people made it.
So, okay. I mean, we'll take it's fine. We'll take the credit for that success. That's fine.
And that title
I
usually does
credit
pretty
it to
well.
MVG's name being in the title,
Thank you,
not
Nate. Thank you.
Sean in a pile of trash.
Come on, that was so fun to make.
Shadow of Nexus guessed it, you piece of shit.
MVG, where can they find you, man?
You can find me.
Sean even finish his pitch?
Yeah.
I'm good. It's coming out tomorrow, probably around 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern time, because I'm not competing with the Super Bowl, and I won't be home because my grandma is hell bent on me going over there and staying the night and watching the Super Bowl.
Do you need a 49er shirt overnighted to you?
No, I mean, we're good. Like she has a bunch of tacos too, so I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Okay.
Oh, apparently I'm too rude to you, OJ. Even though we're good friends and we do this all the time behind the scenes, I'm too rude to you. That's why he doesn't like me.
You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G, YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer, and I've got a really cool video coming out on Mondays, so check it out. And go Chiefs tomorrow. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, check out his video on Monday. It's gonna be really cool. That was a neat idea for the video. OJ.
Well, I suggest the Chiefs not going. I suggest them staying. Hopefully, they just stay home and they just forfeit.
Stay home. Oh, no.
Yeah, just don't come. But no. Thank you so much for having me on. You can find me right here on YouTube. I'm coming back to streaming and everything, full go. Not the next Sunday. So we're doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. We're gonna have giveaways and all sorts of stuff going on. It's gonna be a really time. So yeah, subscribe on YouTube. I do news videos and I do all sorts of gameplay stuff. And I'm really into Smash and Japanese RPGs and Final Fantasy. So I cover all that cool stuff on the channel. So yeah, just check it out. Player Essence.
What about Nate? Nate, you made it all the way through the podcast, man, and we went into overtime, so I gotta give you credit there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take another swig of NyQuil.
Do you measure it out, or do you just drink straight?
I drink it from the bottle.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Whatever I get, I get.
No, you got to measure it out. One time I took too much, and I got the fattest nosebleed in the world. Like it just exploded.
What do you think Nate's about to have?
I mean, you start like kind of tripping balls.
Addiction to cough medicine.
That is a serious thing.
Nate, where can they find you, Nate?
Find me at Direct Feed Games. There's some random game footage up there now. Have some neat stuff next week. And then there's the Nate the Hate channel, where maybe next week we'll have the second collaboration with MVG about a pretty interesting topic. Him and I will debate it a bit.
You know what's really interesting? Interesting, Nate. Nate, there is near the office, there is a full Evan put it out, a full spot, full hotel and everything. You can start having guests over for that. You want to come by, we'll have you can wear a mask or something, I guess. I don't know. But
dude, would you pay for my lodgings?
Maybe.
We'll have to work that out. We'll see.
I'm totally coming by. By the way.
Cover my travel.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm gonna say.
I'll be there.
You can have me there for free. I'm just gonna. I'll sleep in the fucking office. Sorry, excuse my language.
This isn't napkin boys time yet.
The office is gonna be pretty cool. There's gonna be a lot of. Actually, it's gonna be very boring. No one wants to go there. Okay, no one go there. Okay, yeah.
Sleep in the office.
There's just gonna be a lot of video games and cool computer and tech and all this boring stuff. So it's not gonna be any fun.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Is there a mini bar?
There will be a mini fridge,
which can have mini bar stuff in it.
What will it be stocked with?
Sparkling
NyQuil.
water. Sparkling water.
NyQuil and sparkling water. What about some granola bars?
My kids love those. I can get those.
This guy is so high maintenance. John, you have me for nothing. I will not eat anything.
Yeah, I'll get some people over to the office. We'll have some fun.
What if I just want a snack?
Well, though,
High maintenance. You don't need to eat.
I'll make Sean go outside so we can get here.
I'm not high maintenance. I am just very particular.
Jordan, what about you, man? What can did I do your pitch? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, he told everyone to go.
People
now.
really think I'm not joking when I'm talking to OJ. This is ridiculous. Oh my god! How many episodes have you ever watched, chat?
Evan, you're on Twitter, but you want to let them know.
Kimbrick's Project.
Okay.
This whole week, I'm going to be doing streams for digital art stuff. So if you're into that, you can swing by.
Very cool, very cool. And we'll work more on the office, get that all set up. Hopefully by next week, and we'll do some sort of office tour. We'll have some fun with it,
We'll drop the link again because we did our 10-minute outros.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was something we did. Okay, and I guess we're good to go here. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next. There we go. Next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time for more video game talk on the SpawnCast. We'll see you guys then.
Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends.